my friends. Welcome back, episode 11, featuring Mini Orca, aka, I'm not going to say your cursed name. Okay, I'll say it. SqueakyOrca. It's like Voldemort. You can't say that name. It's not a real name. I'm still uncomfortable when people call you by your real name. It's very uncomfortable, but
it's very shocking, honestly. It's weird. It shouldn't be shocking to me. I'm just like, SqueakyOrca, who's that? That's weird.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. My normal instinct is it's someone who doesn't maybe feel like they're close enough with you to call you the nickname is kind of my instinct, or people that are like worried that they might not, like, oh, I'm going to call him this name that only his friends can call him or something. I don't know. Like, that's the way I interpret it. But anyway, hi, Game Orca. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast. So yeah, we're here, and I already prefaced this to you, and I'll preface it to the listeners, but I was going to give him like a big old introduction about like asking some questions and stuff, and I was like, it's not a very good idea for me to do that without reading the questions and then potentially hurt someone's feelings because I spoiled their question. And then good thing I looked at the questions because you guys asked him literally what I was going to ask him. So your adoring fans here in the chat, by chat I mean a Google document, have some great questions for you, Game Orca. But I do have some questions that I don't think are asked, and so we will pivot into those at the appropriate time. But for now, if you're all set, I'm going to read you question number 1 because I can't answer this at all. All I can do is weigh in with my 2 cents after you answer it. So if you're ready.
Yeah. I am terrified. I don't know about ready.
All right.
I've never been ready in my life.
Well,
I'm terrified.
I remember the first 3 are from Otterly, so they're going to be, you can count, there will be some well-crafted questions. And the first one we have says, Orca, were there any specific works of fiction that got you into your, in quotation marks, genre of writing? Like how Ka got a lot of people into hypnosis.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I think for anyone who's read my stuff, and I'm not going to go into any specific detail about my specific works of fiction, as they may be called, but it's very based on horror a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think people who've read it can probably agree that there's a lot of horror aspects to the stuff I write. And definitely when I was growing up, I was one of those awkward kids in school that just, for the first 4 years of high school at least, I sat in a corner and I read a book, and I didn't really speak to anyone. And I probably devoured the entire library, honestly, within those 4 years. But the thing that I read the most was the entire Goosebumps series of books,
yep. Mm-hmm.
Which, has a lot of horror elements, has a lot of bad endings in a way, I suppose.
Yeah, like the choose your own adventure stuff. I mean, that's a lot of what that's what I would equate to like enjoying bad end stuff is like from reading those as a kid, because I can relate to reading those. So
yeah, and there was lots of it as well back then. I feel like it's not super popular nowadays. I could be wrong, but
it's the age of the internet. People don't want to read.
Oh yeah, that's true. They don't. No one wants to read. I don't want to read.
I know.
Me, my streams, I'm just like, oh, dialogue, blah 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 blah.
That's so me.
It's but yeah, that's probably the basis of my like, the typical genre that I write in. I also read a lot of other horror books, like the books by Darren Shen. He's got a series of books called the Demonitor, which I read a lot when I was in school, and I'm rereading them over the last few years. They still hold up.
Yeah, I've never read.
Kind of like, sorry.
I said I've never read those.
Yeah, they're interesting. Kind of the basic premise is that it's like 3 main characters in a world where they find out there's magic, and they all come from different kind of like backgrounds and stuff, and the books are told from different characters' perspectives per book. So it's kind of like one where it jumps all around between books. But it's pretty interesting. It's got a soft magic system. I say soft because they never really go into much detail, which I kind of don't like, because it's kind of just convenient when the magic works the way they want it to work, and it doesn't really feel consistent.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. It's very horror focused. And as I said, I write a lot of horror stuff. So that's another one. In terms of more specifically, I used to write a lot in fandoms, and basically what happened is that I wanted to read the stuff that I write, but
Yep.
no one was writing it. And so I was like, huh, that's annoying. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And so that's how I started writing. Pretty much, I've been writing this same kind of themed stuff in different fandoms for a while. And then I moved over to the furry fandom back in 2017, 2018, after lurking for ages. And I
Yep.
just kind of continued on doing that. So yeah, it was just read a lot of horror growing up, and then I wanted to read more of it, but no one was making it, so I made it.
You filled a
That's the
niche.
basis of it. I did,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned the magic thing, and that's so relatable because I'm so positive that that author just didn't want to learn about that particular. As a writer, it's like I can totally relate to like I don't really feel like learning about that. Okay, I'm just not going to flesh out that aspect because I don't want to learn about that and write about it in depth. I'm just going to bullshit it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
funny.
it definitely feels a bit like that. It's like, here's the situation that's happening. Ooh, but the magic feeling in my stomach is growing, and then I shoot fireballs from my hands. It's basically that. Like, there's no specific
Yeah.
aspects to it. It's just kind of it works the way they need it to work when they want it to work that way.
Yeah.
It's fun,
Convenient.
but it's a little annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So just, I mean, assuming people are listening that are from my audience that only know you as the funny gamer guy in our audience and whatnot, what would you, what would you what label what would you call your genre, I guess, is the way I'm trying to phrase it, or what would you describe your writing, I guess your main genre, because you kind of dabble in a lot of areas,
Yeah.
but
I guess like stuff. Can I say that on?
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
sure, we can say it. This is a podcast. You can say whatever you want.
Well, that is true. So I can say that Raichu is the best streamer I've ever seen.
Whoa!
No. Whoa,
Thank you.
that's crazy. Yeah, I guess my main genre of writing, as it were, is furry, like hypnosis transformation stuff.
Yeah.
And kind of dabbling into different kinds of transformation.
Yep.
And also bad ends. That's
Mhm.
typically what I write. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's about what I would have called it too. So I'm glad that I was on base. And you were worried about saying that, but literally Otterly's question even has the word hypnosis in it. So you know what? We're okay. We're fine.
Well, that is true.
We're fine. But so yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I recall you saying, and for me, right, I've kind of always like I started writing at a really, really, really young age, and I wrote, and as you know, like I wrote a novel, I did all this stuff, but I really have barely ever touched any kind of like writing any furry stuff, like barely touched, scratched the surface. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong again, but like you said that you started writing later in life and you pretty much only did furry stuff. Is that accurate or?
Not entirely. So
I guess you
I've
did
been
other fandom stuff. You said, yeah.
other fandom stuff, and I really started writing, doing role playing for the most part. My first ever story was a Kingdom Hearts fan fiction. Would you believe?
Oh, I
That
think
was
you told me that. Yeah.
yeah. I think I put it in the community facts for November.
Yeah.
It's very bad, but I wrote it in like 2008, I want to say. So that's the kind of quality we're working with, and kind of developed my stuff from there. But for the most part, yes, I in fandoms and furry stuff, like the fandoms I wrote in, for the most part, they were furries anyway, but it wasn't specifically the furry fandom, if you know
Right.
what I mean.
Yeah. No, I got you.
But for the most part, what I write is not really for general audiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went and got the community fact because I'm not sure we've ever had it pop up. So I want the world to get to hear it now. So
Yep.
GameOrca's community fact that he just referenced says GameOrca's first ever story was a Kingdom Hearts fan fiction written in 2008, which you can still find on kh-vids.net. It's a grand 143 words tale about Sora, Riku, and Kairi encountering their greatest enemy, man sex.
Yep.
That's
the one.
I'm impressed. Like I can't even fathom how a story can be 143 words. Like I am impressed. Like That to me, that makes me want to go read it because 143 words seemed impossible to write a story.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to be the first chapter of a story. I just never continued it. So then that just became the story. You know, that's the start and that's the end.
It's like when a show gets canceled unexpectedly and it ends on like a cliffhanger.
Oh, exactly. Oh, that's tragic though when that
It
happens.
is. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
100%. Yeah.
And you
Well,
know, it was tragic when my story got canceled as well. Too
I'm
bad.
sure you broke the hearts of some people in 2008 that read that and were like, "Yes, I'm ready for more." And then like it never. They probably were checking your page and
For
just
years.
checking and checking, and then you never came back. So if
Never came back.
any of what was, do you know? I guess you probably know, what was your, or if you're comfortable sharing, I assume, but what was your
Mm.
username in that time? Or like, what name did
Ooh.
you use? I was just gonna
I
say,
think
if
my
there's
user
any fans of whatever your username was that are listening, well, here he is.
very unlikely, but my name back then was Feenie, Feenie.
Oh, okay.
So it should be visible somewhere on cagevids.net. But
Yeah. Well, if there's any Feeney fans out there, then here he is, guys. You found Feeney. It's interesting though, right? Like someone wouldn't know, like if they like randomly read your work now, right, as SqueakyOrca,
mm,
they would know who the hell Feeney was, right? So
yeah.
maybe there's someone out there that remembers back in the day they were reading Kingdom Hearts fanfics and they're like, Feeney, they're my favorite author. So
That would be terrifying if that was
did
the
you have
case.
others, or was that like the only story you ever posted on there?
That was, I think, probably the only story I posted, but I was
Okay.
quite active in the role-playing
Okay.
community on the forum.
So there might be someone who was like, "I loved role playing with Feeney," and then he
Yeah,
went away,
possibly.
and then all right. I
Oh my
hope.
gosh.
Chili Mex, are you?
Terrifying.
Was it you, Chili Mex? I know it was you. Little. Let me think. How old Chili Mex would have been in 2008? Like 12. Oh, little 12-year-old Chili Mex,
Oh
rocking
dear.
it. Kingdom of role playing his Sora. Good times.
Good
All right.
times.
Well, thank you, Otterly. I hope that answered your question. If not, fortunately, you have a direct line of communication with GameOrca, and you can probably ask him any question you want at any time.
Oh, I've blocked them.
Ever. Oh, okay. Valid. Well,
No, no.
he can message me, and then I'll message you. I'll be like the little
Okay.
I'll be like the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so question number 2. This is I'll answer this question for you after 2. This question says, Orca, do you see yourself more as Scottish or as a New Zealander?
Oh. Oh no. Definitely Scottish.
Yeah,
Definitely Scottish.
that's what I would say. Yep.
I I know some. So in New Zealand, I don't know if people know, but there's another language spoken by, I guess you would call them the native people, the Maori.
Mm.
Um, I can speak approximately like two, maybe one or two words of Maori off the top of my head, because it's kind of necessary for my job. But otherwise, I don't really feel a close relationship with the culture here,
Yeah.
even though the culture in New Zealand is quite similar to the UK because the good old Queen, whoever it was, came over and said, "Hi, you're part of the British Empire now." At
Yeah.
some point, but definitely I'm more Scottish. I see myself as Scottish, not really New Zealander.
Yeah, and I mean,
I live here,
you
but
spent. I mean, you've only been there a few years, right? I mean,
yeah, almost 2 years now, which is
yeah,
crazy to think.
which is funny. It's an interesting world because I don't think you knew this, but I only moved to Las Vegas 2 years ago, literally 2 years ago, as of a few like this week. So,
Oh wow, no, I didn't know that.
we both, like, we didn't know each other at the time, but we were both having big moves uh, at the same time. Crazy,
Yeah,
small world.
that is crazy.
But
Whoa.
yeah, I mean, I think for me anyway, and I spent most of my life in California, and like I live in Vegas now, and I'm sure there will come a day where I feel more connected to Vegas than California, but I still, feel that old connection. And maybe if you live in New Zealand for the rest of your life, someday you'll consider yourself more of a New Zealander. But I think it's only natural when you're relatively new to a place, whether that be a country, a state, whatever it may be, that you're not you don't immediately your history living somewhere else doesn't just go away.
Yeah, yeah, and especially for me, like Scotland's a whole entire different country.
Yep.
It's like I'm Scottish.
Yeah.
I'm not Kiwi.
Absolutely.
So that's always going to be part of me.
Yeah. Your
Even though I
heritage.
apparently don't sound Scottish, and apparently I sound like an American, and that's fun.
I
That's great. I
you
love telling people I'm not American
you
all the
pass
time.
well. You pass well as an American.
I don't
I
like
I
that. Don't say that. Unspeak those words.
But I watched your old League videos, and I think you sounded more Scottish then, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's that's the thing, right? Like I was speaking to my other Scottish friends at the time, so I probably was kind of copying their accents more.
Mm,
They've even said when I go into a call with them nowadays, like it takes me a little bit to get back to speaking like a Scottish
a
person.
proper
It seems
Scot.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it came out a little bit there when you said the word "other." I heard the little Scottish tinge in that word. So just so
Oh no.
you know, you had a little bit going.
Oh yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, I mean, you know, and hopefully it's okay for me to tell your life story. But like, yeah, like for someone like you moved to another country to be with your partner.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like some people move to like I want to be. I really like the culture of this country, so I'm going to move here and integrate myself. Whereas for you, the end goal was I want to be with my partner versus maybe as much I really like the culture there and I want to move there because I don't like my country or whatever the reason. Like, I assume you still
Yeah.
have fond memories of Scotland, and I don't know this, but I did. Let's just say, in a world where you didn't meet your partner, do you think you would have still been in Scotland? Do you think you would have wanted to move to another country? I mean,
Um, honestly, for the most part, I always just kind of envision myself being really boring and just staying in the same city, in the
yeah,
same country for the rest of my
hmm
life.
yeah.
But that's not how it happened. It's not how it worked out.
That's life throws you curveballs sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It does, yeah. I mean, it's I can only imagine. Obviously, for me, the move was I don't know, 400 miles. For you, it was I don't know what the distance is between.
Oh, let's look it up, shall we?
Yeah, Google that thing.
Google that thing.
Goog to
Um, don't say that. Um, distance. It's only a short 11,299 mile trip.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I think I looked that up before. Actually, I remember that number sounds familiar. But yeah, so I mean, I think it's very hard for a lot of people to envision it, and I think it's a good for me anyway. I think it's a good story that could motivate a lot of people because I know a lot of people kind of feel maybe trapped in the sense of like oh, if I don't find like a partner here or something, like I can't find love. Like people that, especially
Mm,
people that live in like small countries, like I've heard people tell me this, like, oh, I live in, I'm not going to name any countries and like dox people, but I live in this small country and like there's not that many furries or gay people, so like I'm never gonna have love. But I guess what I'm saying is like your story is kind of motivational. Like you can do it, even if you don't picture a world where you could ever do something like that. Because, like you said, you didn't really ever picture yourself doing something like that.
yeah.
Like you can do it, and it can work out. And I mean, I'm sure there's many obstacles. I can only imagine the obstacles getting a job in a new country that you just immigrated to, and all. I mean, I'm sure there's a bajillion different obstacles. Um, but yeah, I think it's a good motivational story. I mean, I hope that your story would motivate people to just kind of believe that even if they don't think they can do something like that, that seems very scary.
Yeah.
That it can be done, even if you don't necessarily. Yeah, again, like you don't necessarily think you can do it. Like you probably can do it.
Absolutely. I was under no illusion that this would be easy, but it was very difficult.
Yeah.
Moving, like, basically just packing up my entire life
Yep.
and moving to a completely different country halfway across the world.
Yep.
Um, Especially to New Zealand of all places, which is quite isolated from a lot of other um countries. Like I can't play games the same with my friends back in Europe. It's very internet no likey that. It's
Yeah.
a 300 ping on fighting games, which is not ideal for fighting games.
Yeah.
But it has opened up other opportunities because previously I couldn't really watch streams, to be honest. Like I couldn't watch Toshabi stream, I couldn't watch Pocat stream, I couldn't watch your stream.
Yeah.
As it turns out, I still can't watch Toshabi stream, I still can't watch Pocat stream, but I can watch your stream
Yeah,
now.
thank you. Oh, I'm glad you
It's
wouldn't.
been
So
great.
you may have never we may have never be where we are right now. You would have never joined my stream, and that's kind of what opened the line of communication between us. So,
Exactly, yeah.
um,
That's one of those things that just opens up wild opportunities you would never think
Yeah,
of.
it is interesting. Yeah,
All
because
that
you don't think
domino
about that.
effect kind of thing. It's
And
crazy.
that's yeah, that's an interesting point that you brought up, like being able to be something as simple as like now these friends that I used to play games with all the time, there's like a barrier that I can't really play games with them.
Mm,
Which is, that's not that, to be honest, until you said that, that's not something I would have thought about as a challenge of moving to another country, but it's yeah, it's interesting. And I mean time zones, I guess time zones, let me think. Let me do some math here. Like your so in Scotland, are they at the same time as London or are they 1 hour past?
same time as London.
Okay. So yeah, so like my 9 a.m. is their 5 p.m. and so that's your 6 a.m. I'm just trying to do math. So your 6 a.m. is their 5 p.m. So you wake up, it's like 6 p.m. for them. Okay,
Yeah.
so you still have some time to communicate with them and stuff, but really, I guess you're probably never able to like do things with them on weekdays because you get out of work and they're already asleep and probably going to
Yep.
work, and so um, but I mean, I guess that's the challenge in general of living in a time zone where, for lack of a better way to say it, not that many people live in your time zone.
Hmm.
Even you and I can't really do things on weekdays, really. I mean, maybe like an hour at most if we wanted to
Yeah.
do something. So, like, yeah, I guess that's another challenge. And you think about it in the sense of like, sure, like we're all in the furry fandom, we all have friends in time zones and wish we're able to spend time with them, but because of time zones we can't. And but it's an interesting, I guess, perspective coming from like, hey, these are my like friends that are local or in my same time zone, and now I spent however many years being able to do things with them, and now it's way harder. Um,
Way harder to play League of Legends, my favorite video game.
it's all right. You got me. You got your new
That
replacement
is
league.
true.
Your new replacement league buddy on 200 ping with no skins. You're living your best life.
I am, and honestly, despite that, it was surprisingly playable. So
Yeah, I mean,
it was a good time.
I think yeah, I mean, I don't know, you did good, but yeah, I think that's probably about the most ping you can play with in league because I've played with like a raw and Gabe, and their ping I think was around a couple hundred. So and they did
Mm,
okay. So I think there's a limit, but I think you're right on the cusp of that limit where it becomes not fun to play beyond
yeah,
a certain point. You're still
yeah,
within the margin of error, I guess. Alrighty, well, are you ready for question number 3 from the Otterly?
never.
His
Let's
third
go.
and trifecta. This is interesting. He started out writing his name as the Otterly for the first 2 questions, and then this one, I guess he just gave up because he just wrote Otterly. He took no more of the. He's like, I'm sick of typing this shit out.
Well, he's tired. Yeah, he's
He,
a sleepy. He's always sleepy. He's
yeah,
always typoing.
yeah, he's always typoing because he stays up until 3 a.m. on your stream. That's dedication.
Well
I
led.
put my ass to bed at 11 p.m. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
staying up because I'm not staying up. Hell no. If
All
you
right, a
ended at
nice
11,
characters.
if you ended at 11:30, I would probably try to tough it out. But 12,
Mm,
that's pretty late. But
yeah, it's
you
very
know,
late.
it's I mean, you go to bed at like 11, don't you, on weekdays, or do you go to bed later?
I try to go to bed at 11, but
Yeah,
usually I'll be in bed between 11 and 11:30
yeah,
most of the time.
yeah. And
One,
that's me too. Yeah, I mean, it's reasonable. I feel like. But all right.
yeah.
This says, Orca, you were primarily engaged with the furry community through reserved channels like your writing, Twitter,
Mhm,
Telegram.
mhm,
What made you
mhm.
pivot to streaming, which is a much more involved method of interacting with the community?
Ooh, that's a good question. So yeah, when I got into the furry fandom initially, it was with my friend of 10-ish years, 10 plus years, Spice Boy Bebop. Um, and we kind of like we were talking a lot at the time, collabing on a lot of stuff, and it was good. And I would kind of just like show up. I would post a new story, and then I would turn around and I would walk away. I'd like that meme where someone just shows up, dabs, and then leaves
Yep.
without explaining. That was me. Um, I didn't really engage with anyone apart from like saying hi to comments and stuff like that. But at the time, I was fine with that. But in recent years, Spice Boy has been really busy with other real life stuff, and I kind of came to realize that, that's, yeah, I don't have anyone to talk to in the furry fandom. Well, now I feel a bit sad and a bit lonely. So then, yeah, I started the Telegram because I was too scared to open a Discord to start with because I didn't want to moderate it. to be honest.
Yeah.
But since I've opened my own Discord, it's been fine. Honestly, it's been totally fine for the most part.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, the idea for streaming, I can't remember if it might have been Arley or it could have been Dragon, who suggested I start streaming because I said like, oh, I want to do more stuff with the community. What could be fun for that? And someone said, oh, you should start streaming. I'm like, huh, I've never considered that before, but maybe I'll put some thought into it. And because of that, I was like, oh right, that Pocat guy, he streams. Let's check out his streams. And then I started watching Pocat's streams, and then I started watching Toshabi streams, and then from Toshabi I started watching your streams for a bit.
Yep.
And I was like, huh, well they seem like they're having a good time. I'm gonna consider this a bit deeper. So I made my PNG tuber, my first ever PNG tuber, which is long gone at this point. He's not even on screen at the moment. vaRAIety is. Oh my god, he's been replaced. So I started making that. I set everything up and I started streaming. And honestly, it's been really good. It's been very, 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 very nice to interact with people more closely. And I suppose to be more specific to the question, it was just kind of like I don't want to say like a longing, but more like a desire to get to know people better and have like more friends in the community,
Yep.
and not just be the guy that shows up to post stories and then leave without saying anything. Yeah, I just wanted to get closer to people, basically, especially because I moved to New Zealand. I started feeling quite isolated and quite lonely.
Yeah.
Because, like I said earlier, it was harder for me to play stuff with my friends, and it's still possible, but it's that much harder that it was starting to get to me a bit. So having a community to interact with sounded really nice. And so yeah, streaming has really helped with that, and I've met a lot of cool people through streaming and started speaking to cool people.
Yeah.
Like the wonderful streamer King Panda 95 underscore.
Yeah. The famous Call of Duty streamer.
Exactly, the famous Black Ops 6 streamer. Same with Yasha underscore one. You know, famous Black Ops 6 streamer.
Isn't that a funny?
I'm sure there might be another streamer in there somewhere. It might be like a dragon or something, like a weird looking fluffy dragon.
Whoa.
I don't know what his name is. It's like the Raichu with 2 U's. That could be him, yeah.
Were you there? Were you there when? And I guess you were there yesterday. And Junie was like, "Oh, I see the name the Raichu, and I think of like the Pokemon." And I just had to be like, "Yeah, that's me."
Yeah. That's you.
You know, I was just thinking about the funniness of the contrast, though, of like King Panda, who is like his favorite game, Kingdom Hearts and stuff, and then like the contrast between Kingdom Hearts and Black Ops 6. Like I'm like, here, what? So what games do you stream? Oh, I stream Kingdom Hearts. Oh, cool. So you like other games like and Black Ops 6. Yeah, those are my games.
Those are his 2 games. The only games he's ever streamed ever.
That's quite a range of like you know, I guess realistically it's kind of like if you're a writer and you write like every kink ever, like you can like get like the bigger audience, and now you have like the most wholesome, pure like we're friends game and like the I want to kill everyone game. So
yeah,
I guess he appeals to everyone, the hardcore gamers and the lighthearted Kingdom Hearts lovers. I don't know what to describe him as, but
yeah, you know, it's like the guy that streams Animal Crossing on Mondays and then Doom on Tuesdays.
I know. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you know, it's interesting. A long time ago in 2021, and you know, I mean, you've watched a lot of my streams. I stream for the most part, not very, mostly pretty wholesome games, like nothing like not Call of Duty or something, right? But I mean, like Fortnite is a shooter, but it's like Fortnite, right? So mostly fairly lighthearted games. But in 2011, I streamed Metal Gear Rising, which I don't know if you've played Metal Gear Rising or you've seen it or you know much about it, but like that is an incredibly effing violent game. Like,
oh yeah,
a very, very, and I just remember at the time people were commenting because like the game I streamed before that was Donkey Kong Country, and then I streamed Metal Gear Rising, and like I'd streamed like the games I streamed that year were like Super Mario RPG, Ori and the Blind Forest, like Commander Keen, literally in that year, like Donkey Kong Country. It was like all these friendly, happy games, and then what's next? Metal Gear Rising, and it was quite the contrast. But yeah, I don't know. I guess your genres are a little more spread out as well. I mean, I guess just from the nature that you stream horror games every week, like Layers of Fear isn't like particularly violent, but it's not like it's a serious horror game, I guess, quote unquote. compared to like
The
a
cover's
Spooky's House of Jump Scares.
Nah, what do you mean? That one has
That
so many
game is
serious aspects to
scary.
it. No. But yeah, Layers of Fear is more psychological horror, has a lot of dark themes to it, which admittedly I kind of just like I enjoyed that game a lot. But I feel like I didn't do this story much justice by laughing at everything and
That's the
making
problem with
jokes
me
all the
playing
time.
horror games. Yeah, because the same thing. I played Hollow Body, and it's supposed to be a scary game, like super scary. And then I walk in the apartment, and I'm doing the freaking Sheldon from Big Bang Theory voice, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's I'm not too good at being super serious during super serious games, but
Mm.
you know,
There's an appeal to that as well.
there is
Not everyone wants to watch Mr. Streamer be silent.
crying over
Like,
the the intense story.
yeah,
I feel you.
there's a genre for everyone, I guess, in terms of streaming. Like,
Well,
or not genre, but
I saw you stream Honkai Star Rail, and you didn't cry during the dialogue game, Orca. So
I
you know what? I'm not watching your stream anymore.
oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, Honkai Star Rail is the most heart wrenching story I've ever experienced in my life. But I just can't take it seriously. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was me. I played it for a couple hours, and I mashed that skip dialogue button like so
Oh yeah,
hard.
yeah. I tend to do that. As said earlier, I'm a writer that hates to read
I
game
feel it.
dialogue because a lot of it I find to be quite redundant, to be honest.
Well, and there's a difference between reading it on stream, and that's kind of the challenge. Is I like playing RPGs a whole lot, but I'm
Yeah.
not a good RPG streamer because with my style of streaming, and I mean, I think it probably equates similarly to yours. Is like we don't want to be reading walls of text for 15 minutes out of the,
No.
time. So that's a challenge. Like I'm trying to think. Well, I mean, I guess I stream Chrono Trigger and stuff, but I don't know. It's not Chrono Trigger. It's an RPG. It's a vast RPG, but it doesn't feel, at least in my opinion, it doesn't feel dialogue heavy compared to a lot of RPGs.
Yeah, it's not very word heavy. I feel like there's a lot
Yeah,
of character interaction and character growth and
they're
character development and stuff.
brief.
But yeah, it's covered in just enough detail.
Hmm.
You don't need to delve into 12 paragraphs of dialogue between Frog and I don't know, Megas and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they interact, to be
yeah,
honest,
that's a
much.
good question. I'm not sure.
They, I guess, spoilers for Chrono Trigger, which I won't go into. But
That's okay. I streamed it twice. Everyone's watched it, right? Everyone here, guys, right, guys?
yeah. Well, if you haven't, here's a spoiler for late game Chrono Trigger. The point where you can get Magus in your party. I feel like Frog maybe has like a couple of things to say about it, and then nothing else for
Yeah,
the entire rest of the game.
very, very brief. Yeah, you're expecting like a 50 paragraph like heartfelt monologue, and then it's like, oh, okay, that's all. Okay, cool. See you later.
Yeah.
Later.
No, he just gave up. He got bored.
Which I mean, I'm pretty sure Chrono Trigger was the first ever RPG I played, and that might have played a part in it being a little kid and not having to read like a 50 paragraph book, while playing. Like there was a little bit of dialogue, like you could get a feel for the characters, but you didn't have to like be the most prolific reader in history to like be able to read like this novel. It was just like here's a little bit of dialogue, but not too much that's overwhelming.
Yeah,
which is good.
Exactly.
Especially for a game that doesn't have voice acting, because like Kingdom Hearts, we got all the line. Well, I guess it's not all voice acted, but a lot of it's voice acted.
Yeah, a vast majority of it's voice acted, and
Yeah.
honestly, I wish a vast majority of it wasn't voice acted because the voice acting in Kingdom Hearts 1 specifically is kind of rough for a lot of the characters, but I can't blame them too much because they were child actors. Haley Joel Osment is he was trying his best as Sora. I think he does a good job later on, but in Kingdom Hearts 1, it's a little rough. It's a little rough.
Yeah, I mean, I've never obviously done real acting or voice acting, but I know a lot of actors say it's like very difficult to make the transition from like being a live actor to like doing voice acting. It's very difficult to transition, so I could see it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I can also see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's your story, and I mean, I think you had a good strategy for kind of using it as a way to get engaged, because like I always say, it does, like if I feel lonely or anything, like I can always count on the fact. And then for you, you're also a guy that has a relatively regular stream schedule. Occasionally something might change slightly, but like you can always count on that you're going to have those days with your community. You're going to be hanging out. You're going to be chatting. You're going to be around people. and it's a nice feeling. Like
Yeah.
like you're not gonna be completely lonely. That like it's something. I guess it's just something to look forward to. Like man, I really want to socialize. Well, I have this thing where I'm gonna be like socializing, and it it eliminates the need to like I think it's a pretty common worry or not fear necessarily, but people like maybe sometimes it takes social energy to like ask someone to hang out. Like, hey, I want to hang out and play a game versus like when you're just going to go live, like you don't have to ask anyone. You're just going to go live and then you get to hang out with people without having to ask people to hang out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of a nice feeling, I
yeah,
think.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, when I
And
hit that go live button and I see Vor has been shouted out, go follow Vor. Oh, that makes my night. Oh yeah.
yeah, that's your favorite thing for sure. But no, it's I completely obviously relate to the feeling, and for me, I was involved in the furry fandom for a while before I officially did. I've done streaming in some sense for a long time, but before I did any kind of furry streaming, I'd already been to cons, and I was already a pretty well known entity in the fandom just for doing nothing, shit posting on Twitter, I guess. But
Entity.
yeah,
Like
entity.
SCP.
It's funny. It's funny though, right? Like people think, right? Like people are like, "Oh, right, she's like a famous streamer. Like he got like well known by streaming." And it's funny because like I actually don't think I've gained any more popularity or like like notoriety or like anyone like more people know me, I guess, but also in the same sense like people that knew me before don't know me as well. Like I just feel like basically I was already pretty well known before I ever hit the go live
Mm,
button on twitch.tv. So it's interesting that some people have that perception like oh like yeah, right, she's like a popular streamer or something, and like realistically I think I'm just a pretty normal guy, and like people I don't know how to say it without like sounding like I have an ego, but like people like being around me and stuff, and they did before I streamed, and then I streamed and it didn't really like I guess some people that didn't know me before joined, but
mm.
a lot of our base community either knew me on Twitter already, um, or yeah. I mean, a lot of them, like Kelmori and I, were just Twitter mutuals for a while. Chili Mex and I, Twitter mutuals. Leo and I, Twitter mutuals.
Wow.
A lot of and like I think even a lot of the other old school people, we were Twitter mutuals, and I think a lot of people also found me through Toshabi because they liked his art, and then it's like oh, let's check out this streamer guy that he's talking about and stuff, and
Yeah.
so that helped as well. But yeah, it is an interesting I don't know. For me, yeah, I guess it's very different. Like for me, getting into furry streaming was like I'd already done so much. As Otterly puts it, more. I've already done so much. More involved interacting with the community. I'd already done so much by the
Yeah.
time I ever furry streamed. But I think it's cool. Like I always talk about this, and I love the stories of like people like you, I guess, who didn't ever do anything in this like a streaming sense before and just kind of like took the
Mhm.
plunge. I think it's really cool, and there's a lot of people like that. I mean, like I could name like 1,000 of them. Like Yasha has become a regular streamer. He's like a total introvert and wasn't expecting to stream. Pocat
Yeah.
even total introvert, wouldn't have expected to stream. And a lot of people like I don't know. Do you know Sushi Fur? Are you familiar with him or at all?
I
You might have seen his stuff around at some point.
I think you've mentioned them a couple
Yeah,
times on stream, but other
Yeah.
than that,
Oh,
no.
okay. Yeah. So he's like a pop. I don't know how many followers he has on Twitch now. Well over 10,000. But like he
Oh
started
wow.
out as a super introvert friend of mine in my community. Would come to all my streams. Just a quiet little introverted guy. Never thought he would stream. Very very introverted guy. Never thought he would
Mm,
stream. And then said, "Oh, I'll give it a shot." And started streaming. And now he's like a crazy like popular ultra like he streams. He's a full time streamer. He streams 4 or 5 times a week.
oh wow, yeah.
That's like his career. And so yeah, I think it's really cool when people like go outside of their comfort zone. And I've had the privilege of a lot of people coming from my community and people that are very introverted and thought that they didn't envision streaming as something that they would do, and then they
Yeah.
kind of just took the plunge, much like you. For various reasons, I think I think wanting to get to know more people is a good reason, or just a lot of people say they wanted to do it to be able to share games they like or content they like with other people, which totally valid because that's one of the things I like most is being able to share, share in the experience of this game with others. Um,
Yeah.
which I don't know if that's similar to you or if you're mostly I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, do you get a lot of joy out of being able to share these game experiences with others, or is it just kind of more the socializing with them in general? Or
Oh, you have no idea how much joy I got from sharing Mr. Furry Hot Muscle with the world. Oh
I
boy.
mean, better than you having
Um,
to do it on your own,
oh well,
kind of.
that is true. That is true. Yeah. Um, I think because I on stream, like the only thing I've played that I'm super, super, super in love with on stream is Kingdom Hearts. I've
Yeah,
only played Kingdom Hearts on stream. No, I'll rephrase that. Like what I said the first time. Yeah, the only thing I've had any big connection with that I've played on stream is Kingdom Hearts.
yeah,
So from that aspect, I did like to share my love for Kingdom Hearts with the people who watched my first stream. But otherwise, I really like socializing with people over games.
yeah.
And I like sharing that experience as well. Like I would never have played Alien Isolation by myself, but
Right.
being able to play it with my streaming community made it a lot more fun. And honestly, if I hadn't played it on stream, I probably would have quit halfway through because that game can be quite frustrating. But
Yeah,
because I was sharing it with other people, it was a lot more fun, a lot more entertaining. So yeah, there's kind of a mixture of reasons there, I think,
yeah.
for why I like streaming.
And I guess for you too, you're I mean a relatively new streamer. Like when is your first stream? 4 months ago now, was it or more?
Ooh, yeah, it was. I don't know if I have the exact date actually, but I think it was
Was it
10th of
August or before
August.
that? Okay, yeah. So
It was
that's what I thought.
August.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought. Yeah. So
it was in fact the 10th or the 11th of August, I think.
yeah. So I guess for you, you're still relatively new, and you haven't really had the opportunity, I guess, to share as many of those games, maybe that you have a deep connection to, and maybe that'll happen more in the future. But
Oh yeah,
I guess it's
chilling
just
back.
been
Spyro 2.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I already know when I drop that redeem, I'm Chili Mex is about to redeem it, and I'm going to be playing Spyro 2 for a stream. So get excited. we
It's
we
gonna happen.
we've been having the secret mod discussion in my Discord about how much I need to charge for that reward. So it's going to go
Oh
live
yeah.
soon, and the big spenders are going to be dropping fat stacks to watch me play their favorite games for a stream.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, at least you
You'll
got
be rich.
At least you got Kingdom Hearts for free. They all got Kingdom Hearts for free. They would have all
That's
paid
true.
for that, but they got
Oh
it
yeah.
for a complete free. So you're welcome, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Raichu, for being so benevolent and wonderful and playing our favorite game series for free.
Playing a game. The Raichu sacrifices himself to play a game that's rated. I'm just gonna go see what the rating is on like IGN or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna type it in and see what the rating. Let's see if I can find anything. It has an 9 out of 10 on IGN. So I mean that's a pretty good score. That's
While you're on IGN, why don't you look up the rating for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky on IGN?
Is it gonna get like a 5.6?
I think it got a 4.2.
Oh, okay. I knew it had an awkwardly low number.
Sure did.
If he's exactly, it got 4.9. Wow, we were exactly in the middle. 5.6, 4.2, 4.9 is exactly in the middle. Wow. We're so smart. See, that's Raichu's optimism gave IGN too much credit, and GameWork's pessimism gave them the negative. So it's right in the middle. See, that's a life lesson for you guys. Don't be too optimistic, but don't be too pessimistic either. Be right in the middle.
Right in the middle. That's the best way to be.
But
that's the best way.
I'm excited to see you play more games that you like. Obviously I've shared a lot of games that I like and requested that you play them. And speaking of which, hopefully people will have watched Alone in the Dark. It will have been yesterday by the time they see this, but hopefully they watched it. Yeah. Hopefully we beat the game. Do you think we're gonna beat the game?
Maybe. I might have to go stream a bit longer than usual. But I'm so good and amazing at these old games that I've definitely never played before. So I think I'm going to pick up the controls that are definitely not ridiculously arbitrary and stupid.
Oh, they're so easy. Don't worry. They're so easy.
Yeah, don't worry.
I can already picture Otterly's little otter hands like rubbing together. Like the devious like hands rubbing together, like laughing as he listens to this, and then we failed to finish Alone in the Dark the day before. No, we're gonna do it. Speaking of which, I was I was making a reference to Alone in the Dark 3, and
Mhm.
Otterly mentioned that he watched the 1 and 2, because I remember he was there for some of it, and he said, "Oh yeah, I watched 1 and 2, but I didn't get to watch 3." And I was like, "Oh, I better not spoil it then, because GameOrca might stream that someday, and then you can experience it there." So
Oh god, what an
uh,
experience it will be.
it truly
Yeah,
is. What a game.
what a game.
Alrighty. Well, we have another question. Question number 4 from Chili Mex. So we'll
Oh
get
my
some.
gosh.
We'll get some Chili Mex questions here. It says, "For Game Orca." Wow, right at you. All
Oh,
right.
me.
For Game Orca. Hello. For the first part of this question, I'd just like to be serious and say that I think you're a very, 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 wow, 3 varies. I think you're a very, very, very cool person and a super chill, friendly guy to have around. And it's been awesome to see you join the community. Smiley face. Well, thanks, Chili
Oh,
Mex. That's very nice.
that's nice. Yeah. Too bad you didn't stream longer so I can watch the stream. Yeesh.
It's
That'd be
funny.
fun.
I did almost send you the link when he was live, and I was gonna be like, hey, you should join this, but
Mhm.
I didn't do it, and then actually demo beat you there. That's surprising, but it's all right,
Yeah, unfortunately I was busy, but I
Yeah.
appreciate that, Chili Max. I really do appreciate that. You're also a cool guy.
And you have
Um,
good game taste.
yeah, you have incredibly good game taste. Not that I'm biased for any reason whatsoever. But yeah, Rachi's community's been really friendly. It's been really fun to join in, and yeah, it feels like I've been here for a very long time, even though I've only been here for a couple of months, which is crazy to think about, actually.
Yeah, and it does, and
Exciting.
that's a good pivot. Before we get to Chili Mex's actual question, that's something I was going to talk about, and like this is a good lead-in. But like it is, Kelmori and I talked about it, and I think there's some bias from like people like myself. Obviously, it's my stream, and Kel being here forever. Like he probably doesn't remember too much what it's like to be new. I have never been new in my own community because it's mine. So like I don't know. I feel like we do a good job of like welcoming people in, and when you kind of like show when you make it's kind of like what you and I talked about, right? When you make an effort to like express and show that you want to spend time, whether it be with a person or like with a community, like you're making an effort
Mm,
to be a part of the community. I think that comes off naturally, and like you just kind of seamlessly integrate. Like
yeah,
for me, like the time I think of like you and Otterly becoming like a real part of this community, and I know you'd already been around kind of in chats, chatting a little bit, but like that Among Us
yeah,
night was like the first time, and I think Kel referenced that, like other people referenced it too. Um, like that first Among Us night that you guys joined was kind of like the night where it was like whoa, like they really, I guess that was Chili Max's birthday party as well. Well,
yeah.
yeah,
I
that was
think.
right. Yeah, because you guys were engaged with us, but like then when you came to that, I think it was really like, whoa, they're like, because I mean, and again, there's, I just want to be clear, I'm not shaming anyone who's never been to our events, but like there's people who have been in our community for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years that have never been to a community event, right? And so
Mm,
I think it just shows the effort, like making the effort to like, oh, I'm gonna come and hang out with you guys at this community effort, and it just makes it easy to integrate, I guess, when you put yourself out there. So I appreciate you putting yourself out there. It's been great to have you in the community, and it's been great um to I feel like I'm almost giving myself too much credit, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm happy that I have been able to help your community as well grow a little bit, or
yeah,
continue to be on the up and up. Because I mean, like I said, I think you're like one of the hottest new streamers on Twitch, and like you are growing at a very good rate. You're not to get into numbers or anything, but like your numbers are great, and like your community is very active, very loyal. There's a lot of very, very loyal people that come to every stream, which is kind of the backbone to your stream. Is like you need those, especially when you're still a newer streamer. Like you need those people that are, regardless, are going to show up to every stream.
yeah,
And yeah, no, I think that's really cool, and I'm happy that you have put yourself out there. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, and I think it's very cool that like someone like you or like an Otterly or whoever can come in and be active in chat, hang out, chat with people, be just a genuinely like just a generally friendly, normal person to talk to,
mhm,
and can maybe come to an event and integrate themselves in the community. And like Kel and Chili Mex and others have told me, like, yeah, it feels like you guys have been around forever. So I think that is pretty dang cool, if you ask me.
yeah. I mean, I appreciate that, and it's been really nice hanging out with you guys. It's been very fun.
Yeah.
Um, very easy to, like I said, very easy to integrate into the community.
Yep.
I was never really mystified on who people were. You know, Chili Max gets shouted out about 5 times every minute in the Raichu stream. So it's, oh, I just knocked over a plushie. So
Oh,
I'm
no.
pacing around my room as we're talking.
Whoa.
It's been really good. It's been really fun. The Among Us
Yeah.
night was very fun as well.
Even though you didn't get
Even though I
imposter.
didn't get imposter
Yeah.
once,
I knew you
I
would
was,
say that.
I was a
I knew
good
that was
little
coming.
boy in that game. I didn't kill anyone.
Yeah, that was
But,
and I feel like that's how I bonded with Otterly too, because we had literally, I mean, I've played Among Us for many years and never had an imposter game that good, and that was the imposter game where I was like, wow, like I wish every imposter game went like that. Like that was directly after Chili Mex and I had probably the worst imposter game I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't think you were there for that either, were you? Or were you?
If it was the one on the fungal,
Yeah, that's the one.
It was pretty tragic. It was pretty tragic. Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a good one.
I remember.
Yeah, that was.
I think I don't know. It was either you or Chili Max got caught. Like
he got caught
like
right
10
away,
seconds
and then I was just like, well, now it's me versus 14. Well, all right.
Try your best.
And it's interesting how that game works, because Chili Mex and I mean, we've been friends for a long time. I think we're pretty close, and like we have had so many of those. I don't know if we've ever had a good imposter game. Every time we've ever had an imposter game, they most often go just like that. And I don't know, it's an interesting social dynamics game, because then there was Otterly, who I'd never ever talked to in a one-on-one situation, and we were just like perfectly in sync and had the most unstoppable imposter duo of all time. So it's interesting, right? Like there's no it's not like you're playing like oh, me and GameOrca are friends, so we're gonna play like bottom lane in League of Legends better together because we can communicate well. It's like that doesn't work in Among Us necessarily. Someone you have a better bond with doesn't mean you're gonna have a better imposter team, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess going back a bit as well, the regulars in my community, I'm really appreciative of them.
Yeah.
I won't name names specifically, apart from one, I guess. Artley has been in almost every single one of my streams, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
I think Artley was actually my first ever stream as well. So he's been here the whole time.
Yep.
Even staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning to watch me play Elden Ring sometimes, which is impressive. Don't sleep, please.
Yeah.
Do sleep. But I appreciate it. It's been really nice. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, that's kind of how that's how my stream got started. I had Chili Mex and Leo pretty much joined, I have to say, every single one of my first streams for a while. And, then we kind of, like your community, you had a few more people who were there, I would say, most of the time, or a majority of the time. And that's it. You need your core, though. And you had someone that was your core. And that's a powerful thing, because, having familiar faces is such a good retainment thing for Twitch. It's like there's comfort in, like, you don't know Chili Mex or Leo, but like you're a new person joining my stream in 2020 and you see them in every stream. People started talking to them, and like they're easy to talk to. Otterly's easy to talk to. So it's like you have these familiar faces, and there's a level of comfort that I'm not alone in chat with, like, I don't recognize anyone here. Even for me, I'm an extrovert. I am socially a confident person. But when I join streams, and if it's a stream that I don't know anyone in, like in the chat, I'm not, even if I'm not uncomfortable per se, like I'm much less motivated to talk in that chat. Like I don't know anyone here, like, no one at all. Like even knowing like one person, like when I'm in Maples, like there's a couple people, like maybe you or Demo, or like a couple people, and at least like I can feel like, okay, like I know a couple people here, like I can fit in this chat, like, okay,
Yeah, exactly.
So
I find certain streamers, I go to their streams and I'm like, oh, I don't know anyone.
Exactly.
So, sometimes I go to a stream and I'll be like, I wonder who's here. Oh, Demo's here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a surprise. I'll go to this other stream. Oh, Demo's here as well. That's weird. I'll go to this other stream. Oh, Yasha's here?
Yeah, I think we talked about that. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yasha is the quintessential in every stream person, and he's not. Like I've talked about, he's pretty introverted. So oftentimes I've joined streams and I'll like say something in chat and it's like, oh, I don't know anyone here, and then I get an @Raichu from the Yasha Raichu petting emote, and I'm like, oh, all right, you're here, cool, good. Awesome. He's never been, and even in my chat, I mean, I've talked about it, but like Yasha is the number one, by far, it's not close, the number one most view time of anyone in the Raichu stream in history, like by far, thousands of minutes ahead. But he's still not like, he's never ever in the top like few chatters. He's he's a more reserved, quiet guy. He's not like a me who yaps like in your stream every week, like one of the top chatters, like a yappy motherfucker. He lurks in the shadows. So
yeah, he's not a full lurker, but he's not a full chatter either.
he's a light chatter. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's fine. I think
Yeah.
being a chatter or a lurker or somewhere in between is totally fine.
Exactly. And you need all types. If every single person was a Raichu or a Demo or an Otterly in your chat, you wouldn't.
Oh my God,
it wouldn't go. It would be impossible to keep up. You wouldn't be able to keep up, right? Like I just talked. I talked about. I don't remember where I posted it, but I posted it somewhere. Demo had as many messages in my chat as the next 4 or 5 people combined. Even this week. So my numbers right now. I'll count it down. Here's my top 5 chatters in the last week. Kelmori, 399 messages. Okay, pretty good. Leo, 496 messages. Okay. GameOrca, 671. Solid. Yep. ChiliMex, 679.
Oh, wow.
And in first place, do you want to know how many Demo has? Go ahead, take a guess.
Oh, well, it must be over 2,000, right?
Oh, no, only 1,883.
Oh, only?
So he has more than ChiliMex, you, and Leo combined. And and that's with ChiliMex helping me through the entire game of Kingdom Hearts, mind you, who had a very solid purpose to be yapping his little mouth up. He had a real reason to, and even you. I mean, I guess you helped me with Kingdom Hearts stuff too. I don't, somewhat.
You guessed.
I guess you know. I don't know. You know. You talk crap about every one we go to. Raichu, this is the worst world. Literally every world I've been it's so funny because I've literally like every world I've been to in Kingdom Hearts, someone says this world sucks. Like they said it about Alice, they said it about Tarzan, they said it about Agrabah, they said it about the whale tummy, and every single like none of them have been that bad at all. Like I wouldn't even like put them like anywhere near a level where I'd say they're like bad, but maybe the rest are just so good that you guys maybe I don't know. But for me, they've all been pretty dang good, I think.
It might also be a bit of childhood trauma.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Playing Kingdom Hearts 1 for the first time and being like, oh, Wonderland, that's interesting. Where the hell do I go? Oh, God, what do I do? Oh, presents. Oh, jeez. And then get Deep Jungle, and it's the same thing.
That's an interesting point, because I do have, thankfully, I'm very happy that I have so many helpful people. And it's funny because, like, I try to be very open. Like, I want and need help, but I still get messages from King and Chili and stuff, and they're like, oh, Raichu, I'm really sorry for helping you, and like I don't mean to be too intrusive, and like, and I'm like, brother, please, I need more help. You're not helping me too much. You're helping me too little. Okay, so step up your damn game. But no, I've never been one to like shy away like from needing help and like or asking for help. Like if I know what makes a good stream, and me wandering around deep jungle for 4 hours trying to figure out where to go. That's not good entertainment. So I'm fully aware that I'm on a stream and like, sure, maybe if we were like sitting in the house, like here's another example. Like I played Earthbound in the last few years and for the first time. And I didn't, and Toshabi knew where to go and I didn't know where to go. I didn't spend the whole time and this is not on stream, mind you, this is like sitting on the couch. And he helped me a little bit, but not like to the point of like ChiliMex or King or you, like telling me straight up, here's what you do. Like, do this, Raichu, you dumb idiot. It's different, like I could wander around and be a dumb idiot in Earthbound a little bit because you're not on stream. You're not trying to entertain anyone. It's okay to like explore and like try things out. Whereas on stream, I'm always conscious of the fact that like no one wants to watch me look in the same place in the jungle for 4 hours. That doesn't sound fun for me. Doesn't sound fun for the viewers. No one's having fun, so why would we do it,
Exactly. You
So,
gotta have some kind of backup. Backseating sometimes a little bit.
Exactly. At least in certain areas,
there was a puzzle, like a safe puzzle, and I spent 40 minutes trying to figure out the safe puzzle while chat was screaming at me like, oh, it's so easy. Have you never used a safe before? I think Arle was like crying. I'm just like, no, I've never used a safe before. I don't know what to do.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember.
And people were looking up the solutions and stuff like that. And it's like, oh my God, this is the worst stream in my life. Oh no.
That was utterly helping me in Night at the Gates of Hell. Did you watch the whole stream of that? When I was in that jail level and I was wandering around, that was a tough one. I was wandering around for so long.
No, I don't remember that. I remember I think it might have been Hollow Body, possibly the one with you were in the station
Hollow
and then there
Body,
was
I
a
did
brick
struggle.
wall.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
games
Yeah,
that
well, that one we couldn't even look up. But the problem with the level in the Knights of the Gates of Hell, which we all had our own issues with that game, but
Mm.
the problem with that is like directions didn't help because everything looked the same. So it's like, oh right, you go
Yeah.
left here or something, and it's like, but they all look the same. Like, how am I supposed to even know where I am? It was just a very confusing layout. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's much simpler. For example, when you played I'm Scared, I was able to help you easier with things versus it was pretty black and white for the most part, a little bit. And it's
Mhm.
going to be the same for Alone in the Dark. I think it'll be
Yeah.
a good partnership of like I can give you a nudge when you need it without being
Yeah.
too nudgy, but also you won't wander because listen, if you yeah, I know you watch the stream, but I'm sure you'll still I've been playing the game for 30 years and I still freaking get lost. So
Yeah.
you know,
I'm scared,
yeah,
but it'll
but
be okay. It'll be
yeah,
okay.
yeah, and we'll make it work. But yeah, I always like backseating and help. But anyway, I don't even know how we got to that tangent. But yes,
I honestly have no idea.
we're happy to have you, and I'm always happy. And if there's someone out there who might be listening, who's maybe on the out, maybe not like they don't feel fully integrated into the community, and they're maybe like feel like they want to be a little more involved, like just I don't know. I mean, I feel like no one did anything special at like GameOrca and Otterly, and the people who have joined us recently and become like fixtures of our community have pretty much just chatted and made an effort to hang out with us in like our events. So if that's something you're interested in getting more involved with mine or anyone's community, GameOrca's community, anyone's community, just give it a shot. And I think as long as you're like I don't want to use the word normal like
Well,
a term like someone feels like, oh, I'm not normal so I can't, but like just act like
mm,
I don't know what better way to say it, but just act like chill. I guess be chill would be the way. Like be a chill person,
yeah,
just like chat and hang out. And I think you could easily integrate into mine, GameWorkers, or a lot of different communities if you wanted to. That
exactly, yeah.
there's no like, and again, I think it's a good example for like newer people who might think like, oh yeah, everyone who like chats in the vaRAIety stream is just like they're all been best friends for like 5 years, and it's like it's really not like that. Like anyone can instantly integrate themselves just by being cool in the stream, chatting, hanging out with us on events, maybe talking in the Discord on occasion. Like if you want to be if you want to be a part of the community, all you have to do is be a part of the community. Like I love when new people join and get involved. Like I was super excited when I saw you and Otterly join that event for the first time. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like
Oh,
people like we have the same, we have a lot of the same people who join our events. So it's like, wow, totally like totally new people. And we do have like all like our most regular viewers. Like we have people who came around in 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, and 2024. Like there's people of all varying levels of newness. I don't know what the word is, but like of yeah, I don't know how to say it, but like people who've been a part of the
yeah,
community for like varying lengths of time. Like there's no secret hack. Like I just want everyone to know if you're listening and you feel like you're too new and so you can't like be good friends with us and like hang out. Like I've known GameOrca for 3 months ish and only been good friends for two, might be a stretch. I don't maybe two.
yeah,
Um, like
roughly.
anyone can be a part of the community and hang out with us and feel welcome. So try it if you want to.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
I
I was
think not to go too far off tangent again, I'll just quickly mention this, but I imagine you maybe feel the same, but as streamers, we do kind of notice people who crop up regularly and who like make an effort to show up to streams and like chat and like interact. You might think like, oh, they're streamers,
yeah.
they're so big and like wonderful and powerful and amazing, and they won't notice me. But if you make an effort to come by often, then we do recognize names.
100%. Yeah, I mean, and I think you used that example with me before. You said, "Oh, I really liked it when I joined your stream," and you like kept like calling me, like saying hi, and like that you remembered me
Yeah,
or whatever. Like, um, yeah. So I can say for sure I recognize names that, and I have a good general sense of like like there, and for me too. Like I have people who are in my top 10 view time who you have never ever probably seen them chat because they just lurk. And like even
yeah,
that, like even if you're just lurking and not chatting, like I can see that you've been there and that you're there and like and so like yeah, even if you don't want to chat and you just want to hang out, like I think you're noticed either way. But like yeah, if you want to become more involved in the community, yeah, I think there's no better way than just to keep showing up and make an effort. Like it's like with anything, like right, like if you want to be friends with someone, what do you do? Do you like stay very far away from them and like not talk to them, or do you say, ah, fuck it, like you're gonna message them? Like that's how you got to know Pokat and Toshabi. You just
Yeah.
messaged them, right?
Pocket, yeah, Pocket approached me first for
Oh, okay.
commission stuff, but otherwise, yeah, I
I
had that line of communication. And Toshabi, I was like, Toshabi, tell me,
yeah.
how do you draw? Teach me. And then we just started talking.
Yep.
And yeah, you just kind of have to approach people
Yeah,
if you want to talk to them.
you have to take a shot, and it is scary. I mean, anything's scary. Becoming, I'm sure, like I don't want to speak for you, but like I'm sure, like joining a community night with people that you don't know super ultra well, or you've never talked to in voice chat can be. I don't know if scary is the right word, but it can be like you can have like nerves. It's okay. Like I have nerves when I
Yeah,
meet new people sometimes. Like it's a reasonable human like element that like yeah you're sometimes you're gonna be nervous like it's nerve-wracking like I want to make an effort to get to know this person, or I want to join this call with them, or like whatever it may be. Like it's okay to be nervous, like, but give it a
yeah,
shot if it's something you want.
just just go for it,
Yeah.
and usually it'll work out fine.
Yep.
I was when I moved to New Zealand, I was super scared to join the Discord call for the Australia New Zealand fighting game Discord. They were in the big group call, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so scared, but I want
Yeah.
to talk to people." So I joined, and then I immediately got laughed at for sounding British, which is very
Amazing.
very funny. And it wasn't serious, it was a
Yeah.
joke, but I still remember that. It's a fond memory.
You're
But yeah,
so
you just kind of have to
fucking
do it.
British. That's
British,
iconic.
quite on. Oh my gosh, it's fun.
I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna use my British voice and see if they laugh at me.
Oh no, don't do it.
Hello.
Oh
I just
no,
moved to New Zealand.
could you imagine? Oh jeez.
I'm friends with SqueakyOrca. I moved to New Zealand. He said I could join you guys.
Oh no.
Immediately banned from the Discord.
Banned. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's all there is
if
to
you
it.
want to integrate into communities, you just kinda show
Give
up
it a
and
shot.
chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, I was super happy whenever like I know you bring up a couple times like, oh, demo kept shouting me out like 5 times. I'm like, well, actually, no, I was shouting you out multiple times
Oh,
per
thank
stream
you.
to start with.
I
Because
appreciate
I
it.
was like when you showed up, when I first started streaming, the time zones were in such a way that Raju could show up for 2 minutes in my stream and
Yeah.
then immediately go to bed. But I was still like, "Whoa, Raju's in my stream! That's
Yeah.
amazing!" And it made me very happy.
Yeah. And I
Um,
mean I liked the I like I mean I talked about it. I really liked your intro screen and stuff, so I had joined, and it's like like I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not even going to be looking at Twitch or my phone at 10:30 p.m. most night. I mean, maybe on my phone chatting or something, but like I'm definitely not.
mm,
I'm definitely not planning to like. I'm going to join a Twitch stream at 10:30 p.m. Like I like to be winding down for sleep, but
yeah,
like I remember at the time, I'm just thinking like, oh, like SqueakyOrca is really cool. They're in my streams and stuff, and like I can at least like make an effort to like. There's no way I can watch this stream, but at least I can make an effort to like join, say hi, hang out, and it kind of became a thing where like I'm sure you remember like the first couple times we are just like hi bye, but then like I
yep,
started sticking around for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I remember too I was like, oh, like I'm having fun, like I want to hang out a little bit more. Like this is I normally wouldn't be on Twitch at all. Like it used to be the only time I was ever on Twitch late was Yash's stream on Thursdays. He didn't used to stream any other day except Thursday, period. So it was
oh
like,
wow,
all right, Thursdays I'll be on Yash's stream late, but other than that, like my evening I'm winding down. Like I'm not trying to watch a bunch of Twitch streams or like socialize with a bunch of people in streams. I'm just like I'm just gonna like chill. Like my social battery is burnt out. Like
yeah,
I'm ready to like wind down. But then yeah, like I started doing that, and then the time zones changed, then they changed again. And now I spend like 2.5 hours on your stream on Tuesdays and Wednesdays minimum. And it's like a very, very vital part of my week. Like I plan things around it. I'm like, okay, I can't be recording for YouTube, or I can't be doing this. Like I need to be ready by 8:30. Like it's the Game Orca stream time.
oh
So it's like anything. It's like, it becomes a
yeah.
routine, a routine part of your life. And so, um,
And
yeah,
the thing about that as well is if you hadn't started showing up to my streams, I maybe wouldn't have messaged you that
yeah,
picked that video of the dog and said it was
yeah,
Jax. And if I hadn't done that, we might not have started speaking.
yeah,
So all kind of it's like a domino effect. You just don't know how it's going to happen, but
yeah.
you need to take the plunge, and then
Exactly, and it really is like that. And we've talked about it. It's like you're making an effort, like you're showing, like I'm not trying to like sound like I'm such a great guy showing up for your stream at 10:30, but I'm sure from your perspective it's like, oh, he's really making an effort to like come and say hi on my streams, even though it's late for him and he can't stay.
yeah,
He's still making that effort, and so it really is about making the effort. And I know you and I had a long conversation about this a while back, just about like, oh, like the people that I want to be around are people that want to be around me. And so like making that effort to like, if someone's making an effort to want to be around me, like I'm going to want to be around them more.
exactly.
So it's just kind of, it's nice how things work out like that, because that's, yeah, you want to hang out with them and they want to hang out with you. And it's like, whoa, we're hanging out. That's so cool.
Exactly. Yeah. And
So
now we're playing League.
now
Isn't that
we're
great?
playing League. We're playing Alone in the Dark tomorrow. We're doing a podcast right now. GameOrca, get out of my computer. I have stuff to do.
No, I'm sorry. I let you in now. My bad.
All right. Well, Chili Mex, I thank you for your patience, because we went on a 30-minute tangent. His question is still waiting.
Yep.
So we will get to it. You'll like this one, because we had all this wholesome, lovely talk being pals. Now here's an opportunity for you to say something negative.
Oh no.
It says, now, in all caps, it's time for you, and Raichu, to receive the kind of question you always send. Oh, he said the kind of question you send. What is your least favorite season and why? I bet you don't like summer, if I had to guess, but I don't know. Go ahead.
Oh, you're so right. I fucking hate summer.
Yeah.
I hate summer so much.
You've talked about your hatred of heat a lot, so.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that cannot stand the heat. I can't function in the heat. It's so bad. Summer is my least favorite season, and also because of hay fever. My hay fever is atrociously bad. So when spring and summer start rolling around, my life goes from pretty dainty to help.
Well, and
quite
I mean,
quickly.
so I assume since our winter will be soon, your summer will be there soon, right?
Oh, it's right now.
It's coming. Oh, okay.
Very hot
It's already
today.
happening. Okay.
Oh yes, it is very hot today. I say it's very hot. It says it's 21 degrees Celsius, which you're like, that's not
That's
hot. I live
freezing.
in 49 degrees weather.
That's 69.8 Celsius. It's 61 here, and I think it's like the coldest temperature it's ever been. It's like nighttime, and it's freezing cold right now to me. That's funny.
Yeah, but you're not real. You're fake. I'm not built for the heat. It's just I can't do it. Winter is my favorite season because there's no heat, and there's no bees, and there's no wasps, and there's no hay fever.
Yeah,
and summer is the worst.
That's one thing I like. I don't like. I am. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if scared is the right word, but I have a strong disdain for stinging insects. And Nevada is very insect free for the most. Like, there's not a lot of insects here because it's dry. It's very, very dry. It's not humid at all. So yeah, like I have family in like the Midwest of the US, which is a very humid and place, and there's like I don't even know how many scary ass kinds of wasps and all these crazy ass flying things, and it's just like a normal part of their culture. And like I go there and I'm just like, I could not live here because I would probably have a heart attack every time I went outside my house. I'm just saying.
Yep.
So yeah, I love it here. There's and a big problem in California was ants, and I don't know if ants are a big problem there, but like I couldn't tell you how many times we had ant infestations, like both growing up with my parents and then like living in apartments with Toshabi, like so many times. And there's none of that. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a single ant or any ants at all here in Nevada. So it's great. Yeah, there's very few bugs, which I don't necessarily dislike bugs per se, but I'm totally fine with them not being around.
I am very fine with them not existing ever. Actually, they can disappear. I don't like flying bugs. I don't like insects that buzz in your ears. I don't like ants. We have lots of ants here. I never had to deal with ants in Scotland.
Oh yeah,
now they're everywhere here.
Yeah.
They're
annoying. Yeah.
No, so bad. So winter is for me. Winter's the best. Summer's the worst. I don't know what your opinion on that is, Raichu.
Well, let me tell you. Here's what you're gonna have to. The normal Raichu answer. Me struggling to think of any season that I don't like, because for me, life is kumbaya at every season. So in Las Vegas, right, it's natural to not like the summer because, like, I came from California. Summers are beautiful. I mean, it was hot there, but compared to Las Vegas, they were. I mean, I say, oh, it was so nice there. I mean, it was still probably 35 Celsius, but to me, that's nice. So Vegas, obviously, like I don't know, 120 Fahrenheit is like what we had. I think we got up to 122 Fahrenheit, which is around 50 Celsius last year. So I guess summer is my least favorite season, but I also am totally okay with the heat, and also like, I mean, we kind of talked about it, but like the motto in the summer is like similar to people who live in extremely cold climates. Like you just don't go outside during those months. Like it's 120,
Yeah.
it's 50 Celsius or it's like 0 Celsius. You're probably not going to be hanging out outside in either of them because it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. Like literally during the summer, it's like if the sun is out, you are not going outside. You can go outside when the sun's down, or if you need to go somewhere. Obviously, we all have cars because we live in America. So you take the car somewhere, and then you're in the air conditioning in your car, and then like there's like a 30 seconds you're like walking from your car to the store, and it's like hot, and you're like, damn, this sucks. Then you're in the store, and it's like blasting AC, and it feels so good. And then you go back out, and you're like 30 seconds in the sun. Oh, it's so hot. Then you get in your hot ass car that sat in the parking lot for a little bit, and you're like, oh, it's so hot. And then you put on the air conditioning, and you're like, I feel good again. So it's interesting for me. I've always been a hot climate guy. I mean, I've always lived in hot climates, so for me, that's what I'm comfortable with. And it's funny because like sometimes I'll be in a store and it'll be like during the summer and it'll be like cold. I say cold. It's chilly because they're blasting the air conditioning. And then I go outside and I'm like, and it's like 100 something degrees, and I'm just like, oh, that feels so good. Like I'm so glad I live in a hot place and I can get back in the heat because that cold was really uncomfortable. But
Oh wow.
so I guess that's my answer. I mean, in Vegas, the best months are definitely spring and fall. Like if you come to LVSC, it'll be a great month because it's like pretty chilly. You'll probably actually like it. It's probably like 5 to 10 degrees Celsius less than it is for you right now. So it'll probably be like the sweet spot for you. It's a little chilly for me. I was cold last year at LVSC, I'll admit. But yeah, so the sweet spots are those, and I mean winter is fine in Las Vegas. We are a desert, so it gets cold. It gets down to like hold on, let me do the conversion. 40 F to C. It gets down to around 4 to 5 degrees Celsius ish, which to me is cold. When those times are there, I'm saying, oh man, it's really freaking cold, which I know for you probably that's like not that cold, but
that's still pretty cold.
it's chilly. It's chilly. Like Pocat was here in the winter and he literally died. All he did was sit in front of the fire because he's so, I mean, Singapore, you can imagine you're not really very versed with the cold, but
it's just like hot all year round. So I'm aware there.
Exactly. So I guess the quintessential Vegas answer is summer, and so that's what I would answer. But I like summer vibes in general. Even right now, like anytime I go out, I have to wear a jacket or something, and I'm like, dang, I miss when I could walk around in a tank top outside and stuff. And like, so I do like the summer vibes, and I think I'm a pretty summer vibey kind of guy. But it is a bit overwhelming. I mean, it's really like 3 months where it's like super ultra unbearably hot in Vegas, and the other 9 months are pretty good. But yeah, I mean, if we're talking about bad, yeah, those 3 months are not. They're not the most pleasant. I mean, and what sucks the most is for Jax because he has a lot of energy and he likes to go on a lot of walks. And and during the summer, it's one walk at night and it's still 40 something degrees Celsius. I mean, it's not as hot because it's like dark out, but that's the best you can do. And it's like, thankfully, I mean, like he understands. Like I'm glad he like doesn't like freak out. He gets it. Like it's freaking hot. I don't want to go out anyway. But it sucks for him. And I mean, I guess as someone active, I like going out and in the world, and it does add strain to that as well. So I would say summer as well, GameOrca. We're on the same team here.
Hell yeah, yeah. Hate summer,
but winter is still uncomfortable. Like sometimes in the dead of winter, I'll be like, damn, it is so cold. I hate cold. But the benefit of that is you can bundle up pretty good. And
it's easier to get warm than it is easier to get
absolutely
cool, if that makes sense. Even though we're both very cool.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
so true. All right, well, we got a great one for you. On the next question from Chili Mex. Wow, he really do be hitting you with the hatred questions.
I probably deserve it.
Chili Mex has never asked a hatred question in his entire life, and today he's excited. He gets to be the evil Chili Mex. He's like the heartless version of Chili Mex.
Well, when I'm not asking questions, someone has to be asking good questions.
Yeah, thank you, Chili Mex, for filling in the orca-shaped void in our hearts this week.
Exactly.
All right. So the question is, it says, question for both of you, but a challenge for Orca because he needs to answer without giving spoilers. Who is your least favorite Kingdom Hearts character?
Oh.
So think about that as you try to. I don't know what would spoil or what wouldn't spoil, but I trust you to answer.
Who is
Something.
my least favorite Kingdom Hearts character? That is a loaded question. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
you think about it. I'm going to answer mine in my very, very
Okay.
brief Kingdom Hearts experience, and it's going to be
Yep.
Riku because he's a little bitch and he thought he could flaunt on me like I'm 7-0. No, I showed that kid who's boss. He just seems like a
He
little.
sure is.
He seems, as Chili Mex put it so eloquently, I could never say it better. He's a little ass. Okay,
He's a little
I'm
ass.
sorry.
Yeah.
That's what he is. So people think he's cool. Nah, dude, you can be cool and not an ass. He's just an ass as of now, anyway. But maybe he'll be cool later. I don't know.
Have you seen his drip in Kingdom Hearts 1? He is not cool. I don't know what he's wearing. He was not cooking when he opened the wardrobe that day.
It was a different. It was a different time 22 years ago. Maybe it was cool then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He has some interesting outfits throughout the
boy.
series, that's for sure. Damn, I guess my least favorite Kingdom Hearts character, I guess just as basic as I can be, it's probably Kyrie, to be honest. And the reason I say that, to not spoil anything too specific, is that the writers really don't know what to do with her, and it really sucks. I don't know if you've watched much shonen anime, but if you're familiar with how they write female characters, they kind of write all the male characters and then remember that there's a female character in there, and they're like, ah, shit, we need to do something with them. That's kind of how Kingdom Hearts treats the female characters, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I won't spoil anything specific that happens in the story, but
We're saying
Kyrie's,
kind of unfleshed out. Is that kind of like the idea?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
She's not fleshed out, and there's a lot of wasted potential. It's not just Kyrie; it's a lot of the female characters, but there's just a lot of wasted potential, and they don't do a good job of utilizing her the same way they do with the male characters.
Yeah,
Hell,
considering she seems like a main character of the story. Yeah,
she is. Yeah,
right.
and I think Donald Duck has more character development than Kyrie Kingdom Hearts, and you know what? That's not good enough. That's not
that is
good.
pretty funny.
So that's probably my least favorite off the top of my head. If I actually had to choose a personality of a character I dislike the most, it's probably Larxian, because fuck you, Chili Mix.
Is that the one that King? Is that the one that King has the emote of?
No, that's
okay.
That's Vexen.
Oh, okay.
So King was playing,
that Larkson. That's the one with the double eyes that Chili Mex has that thing, right? Is that the one? No, the heterochromia. Is that the one? No. Wait, why do I
have her?
Hold on, let me Google. No, I won't Google it. I might spoil myself.
You Google her. No, you're not allowed to Google. No. I don't know if she has heterochromia.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm remembering her for another reason that Chili Mex just talked about her a lot. I don't know.
Chili Mex has talked about her a lot. Yeah,
yeah.
That's true. She is a bitch, and in the nicest possible way. She's just like Riku. Actually, she's a little ass in the same ways. But also her boss fight in is that a spoiler? I don't know. Anyway, in Chain of Memories, she's awful.
I got you.
That's all I'll say.
All right. Wow, I'm gonna meet her so soon.
Yeah.
And then you get to be on my stream. No, you're Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Chili Mex is Chain of Memories. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I got you. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I won't bring you on for Chain of Memories. You won't like that.
I'll cry.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna bring both of you guys on, and then Chili Mex is gonna be the angel, and you're gonna be the devil on my shoulder. It's gonna be great. That would be that's not a bad idea.
It could work. It was fine when I was watching King Panda play Chain of Memories, because I could laugh at him, while also giving him moral support, because I wasn't the one playing the game. But as soon as I have to play the game, I'm like, no, get me out of here, no.
So what you're saying is you're excited to laugh at me?
Yeah, I always am.
I know you are. You are. Beautiful. All right. Well, so we'll say Kyrie. Okay. Well, that's interesting because I know she's a main character, but I mean, even to this point in this game, I can say I've seen very, very, very little of anything. Which I mean, obviously, I guess she's kidnapped or whatever. So So that would explain it. However, I feel like, oftentimes in games when someone is kidnapped, you still hear more from them or about them than in this case, where she's kind of just like, it almost seems like they just had this plot and they're like, so how can we exactly make Sora go to these places? We'll just take his girl and then, we'll do it. It seems almost like tacked on at the end. You kind of mentioned that sort of, so.
Yeah, well, you'll soon realize that Sora's girl, as it were, is actually Riku the whole time. They're There's such a
Oh, there's
power gay couple. You'll
yeah,
understand when you're older.
he likes getting bullied a little bit. Like Sora's like,
Mhm.
I like it when Riku says that I'm a little bitch. I see. I mean,
Yeah, you'll
there's many
understand.
relationships like that. So you know what? More power to him.
Exactly, exactly.
All right. Well, the next question. Guess who the next question is by?
Is it Chili Mix?
No, it's by Mini Orca.
Oh no.
It says, "Whoa, who's that fish next to you?"
Oh, who is that fish?
Whoa,
What fish?
you're not
Oh
a
no,
fish. Wait,
I'm
that's
not a
him
fish.
though.
That's crazy.
He is next to me. That's crazy. And he asked the question.
Whoa. Yes. What?
That's
Is that allowed?
insane. My head hurts.
My head hurts as well.
You know
That's
what's
crazy.
also interesting though is something I've noticed is the people who spell woe WOAH versus WHOA. That's just interesting. I
Oh.
see a lot of people spell it WOAH. I always spell it WHOA.
Ah.
It's kind of like gray and gray, I guess, like the two spellings. Like people just have their
Yeah.
own.
Grey, GREY is the European spelling, and Gray, GRAY is the American
Yeah,
spelling. But I could be wrong.
I was gonna say I spell it AY.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That checks out.
That checks out. I for a sec I thought you were gonna say GREY is the better way to spell it, and I was about to fight you as always. But I mean, technically that's what you're saying because you're saying it's the European way. But you know what?
That's exactly what I'm saying. You know what? I didn't need to say anything because you just knew.
I listen. I know it's only been a couple months, but we've talked enough that I know what you're thinking. Our line of communication is strong. We'll say.
Yeah, exactly. And favorite spelt with an OU. I hope you understand.
Oh, I love it. Every time I get to comment on that on the podcast when there's a question from you, I get to point that out. It's wonderful.
Exactly.
All right. Well, the next question is one that I think you'll like to answer, which is it's interesting, right? Because like not everyone is familiar with you, and so they would know this answer. Like I don't know how to say it. Like if you went to the Game Orca stream, you would know this answer. But like it's interesting to think like it's kind of the same way that I always think like I have main character syndrome. Like I think people should know things about me, but I also have like main characters from my stream, and I'm like, you don't know everything about like Chili Max, Kalmori, Game Orca, like all these essential people in the stream. Like you don't know every single tidbit about them in their entire lives. Like, what are you even a real fan? Like it's very silly.
Skipped all the dialogue. Honestly. We talked about this. Just mashing through the text.
Well, the question is, and I'll let you answer it first. I don't really know who it's directed to, but it's just it doesn't say, so we'll let you have it first. How well do you do with playing horror games?
I by myself, not very well. I'm a little baby when it comes to horror games by myself, but on stream, it's a lot more bearable. Alien Isolation, when I played that for Halloween. For those who didn't know, it was very fun. But that game is actually pretty scary, at least for the first 80% of it. The last 20% of it was just me being really salty, but it was quite scary, actually. There was still a lot of like spooky, scary atmosphere to that game, and I felt quite terrified playing that game. I was on edge for a lot of it, even with chat. So I do pretty well, but I do get scared, and I am very prone to being jump scared. I'm very easily jump scared.
Yeah,
as Raichu might be able to comment on, as he always does.
100%. Yeah, I love it. No,
cardboard. Yeah.
It was just that's still like with friends you have like those iconic moments that you'll remember, and I'll never forget when you said like, Raichu, is this scary? And I'm like, I don't know how to judge if it's scary to you. You get scared by cardboard cutouts, so.
Well, that's just rude. That's just mean. It was a particularly scary picture of an ice cream. What was I supposed to do?
Yeah, it's funny. So I'm gonna give you a fun story that I don't know if maybe I've mentioned it before, but it's a very obscure story about Spooky's House of Jump Scares, and I hope it will make you feel better about your getting jump scared. So picture us back quite a few years ago. I don't know what year it was. We'll call it 2019, but I don't exactly know. It might have been 2018. We'll call it 2019. Toshabi, Raichu, and a friend of ours were driving from San Diego at the time where we lived to BLSC, which is in Reno, Nevada, which is roughly a 9-hour car ride. So I'm driving, and those boys are sitting in the back seat, and they're playing games and stuff throughout the course. They played a bunch of different games, but like at some point, And so let me tell you about the drive from San Diego to Reno. So there's a big mountain range in the way. So there's a portion of the drive that is very secluded. I mean, it almost feels like you're in Slender Man or like a horror type atmosphere. So like we're at that part of the drive. We're 9 hours in. It's super late at night because we've been driving all day, and we're driving. And I assume it was Toshabi because he's usually the one with these questionable ideas. He's like says to our friend in the back seat, "Hey, let's play Spooky's House of Jump Scares on my laptop," because he had his laptop that he had brought. And so they're like, "Okay, cool." So they're playing Spooky's House of Jump Scares, right? She's just driving along, and like 8 hours into a long drive, like I'm a little out of it, a little tired, like been a long day driving. And they're in the back seat. We're in like the secluded, like foresty, mountainy area, like nothing around, no other cars, pitch black, and we're driving. And basically, I don't even know what jump scared them, dude. Something jump scared them. They both literally jumped, made my car shake, almost scared. Like I can't even say almost, like startled me because they both jumped. Like it went from like silence, like we're sitting in a car in the middle of nothing, to like them both jumping and literally making the car shake that they jumped so hard from whatever it is. No. And I have to assume that it was a cardboard cutout. I have to assume. I don't know what else can jump scare you in that game that would make you jump like that. So I have to assume a cardboard cutout almost made me crash into the forest of trees in the middle of the Nevada desert many years ago. It didn't really. I was okay, but that's a very funny, iconic story. So don't you worry if the cardboard cutout scare you. At least you didn't like literally jump. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you did, but at least your jump scare was more like an and not a literally jump and hit the roof of my car in excitement.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I did have a pretty visceral jump scare reaction just the other stream, just the other day actually. And the worst thing is it was a jump scare I knew was coming because we were playing Fierce to Fathom, and at one point a door opens and you can see a shadow, and I'm like, oh, I better not go there, but I don't know if I'm supposed to go there, but maybe I need to go there. And so I went there, and lo and behold, I got jump scared. But I was still so viscerally surprised by this jump scare that I screeched louder than I probably screeched on stream before. And it was the game crashed right after. It looked like I pressed Alt F4, but I didn't.
That's funny. So you beat the game.
Oh yeah, I beat the game. Don't worry. I got raided right after that as well, so that was a double jump scare in some ways. But nothing will ever compare to the stories of Pocat stalling on Spooky's House of Jump Scare.
Yeah, you weren't there for that, right?
I was not there.
Yeah, we joke that he spent more time on the pause menu than playing the game, but it's really it might sound like hyperbole. It's not hyperbole. It's literally he would spend 45 minutes on the thing and then end up quitting the game and say, guys, can we just do something else? He would find any reason to pause and any reason to stop. And I mean, poor guy, it's just a traumatizing game. But yeah, so I guess for me, right, like I would say you do quite well with horror games. And I guess that's from my experience dealing with people that truly get scared. Like there's different levels of getting scared in games. There's the level like on Pocats where it's like literally like debilitating. Like I literally cannot play this. Versus like I think I even did the level up. Like in my mind, Toshabi is the most brave scared person. Like he knows he's gonna get scared shitless, but he'll like 10,000% jump into it. And then there's like you're right below that. Like you pretty much do everything. Like you don't really stall. You go in and you're gonna get scared. You know it. Like you have like a little bit less confidence, but you don't get scared. And then there's like Yasha. He has a little more. He'll do anything in terms of horror stuff, but he's a little more. He's more reserved. He will maybe stall for a little bit. He'll do it, but he's going to be a little slower about doing it. And then there's Pocat, who's just not going to do it. So it's interesting. So for what it's worth, I think you're on the upper echelon of horror game bravery from scared people. Because like there's like me who just doesn't get scared at all. It's not a comparable side by side. So the people that get scared, you're in the upper echelon of those people. You do it. I mean, I've never seen you really stall or like hesitate. You just you're gonna get scared by the damn cardboard cutout, but you're gonna do it anyway.
There was one time I stalled in Alien Isolation where I got through a really
I remember that.
part of the game. it might have been a couple times, but in one part specifically, I was really stressed out in this part of the game, and I was terrified. The alien was absolutely cheating, by the way. It was an absolute cheater of an alien. He's just teleporting around the place. And I got to a save point, and I paused stream, and I opened up Firefox, and I was like, let's look at cat pictures for like 10 minutes. Let's not play this game for a bit. And yeah, that's probably the hardest I've ever stalled in a horror game.
But I mean, also in your defense, like Alien Isolation is one of the scariest games of all time. Like from many people's perspective, it is a truly horrifying experience. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, Alien in general is often considered like one of the most like traumatizing like horror movies that has an effect on people. So like, I think
Yeah.
it's different. Let's just be real. It's different stalling in Spooky's House of Jump Scares versus Alien Isolation. Okay, Alien Isolation, I can give you a little more slack. That is a truly viscerally horrifying experience. Like I
Yeah.
get it. You know, I'm very desensitized, and so like I don't get scared, but I can fully appreciate when something is scary versus like when it's a little bit realistically, it's pretty dang silly. Like Alien Isolation is a scary game. Like
Oh, it is.
all intents and purposes, it is a truly scary game. And I
Yeah.
mean, same thing with like Dead Space. You haven't played Dead Space, right? I know you want to play it on stream, I
Yeah.
think. Um,
Yeah, I
uh,
played like half an hour of the original Dead Space, but I've
and
never finished.
yeah, that's another very horrifying game. So I mean, I don't know. I'm excited to see you play more games like that. I
Yeah.
know you have a lot on your list, and
Oh, I do.
I already gave you like a full like paragraph commentary of like every game you listed out on my thoughts on it.
You did.
But
I appreciate it.
I think you have a good. I mean, I think you could play literally any of those, and it would be a good level of entertainment. And I mean, honestly, like I'm I'm jealous of people. Like I'm legitimately jealous of people who have more of a reaction to horror because like I think it's great. Like people like Markiplier even who got like famous from like being like reacting and being scared of horror games. Like that'd
Mm.
be fun. I wish I could be scared and have you guys there at my stream laughing at me, but like yeah, I can't. Like I think it's cool. Like I think it's really like endearing to be able to like to be able to be scared for whatever reason. I think that's an endearing trait to be able to be vulnerable to the scariness. Because for me, it's just like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm walking around, and there's the scary. It's like I remember when I was playing even Hollow Body, and I was just like, all right, this is going to be the part where they attempt to scare me, and I'm like, I was like analyzing. I was like, yep. So that
Yep.
was where they had the guy crash through the window. That was an attempt to jump scare me. So I see what they were doing there. And I'm
Yeah.
just like giving an analysis to something that's just supposed to scare me. I wish I didn't, but as you know, I'm a huge fan of horror media in general. So I'm just too desensitized. But I still,
Yeah.
there's nothing I enjoy more than watching a horror movie. I'm going to watch a movie tonight called Werewolves in theaters.
Ooh,
And
okay.
it's a werewolf horror movie, and I'm very excited. I guarantee I won't be scared at all. Probably turned on because it's werewolves, but I still love it, and like I love what like horror streams are my absolute favorite to watch. Like I love yours, and I love it. I mean, I'm always bullying Yasha. Hey Yasha, do you do
Yeah,
more
you
horror
are.
streams?
Poor Yasha.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
I love horror games, and but I also like the fact when I can like as you've seen. I mean, I've been on yours, but I've also like I am the Spooky's House of Jump Scare guy. Like I
You are.
love being on. I've been on Toshabi's, Pocats, Yasha's, yours. I don't know if I was on Kato's. I was on Katsu, or Katsu now, from Thunderfang. I've
Mhm.
been on like everyone's Spooky's House of Jump Scare stream, and I like the fact that like I don't know, like it feels like I can like accompany like the scared person and like help them be a little less scared. Like oh we can go with this as a team. Like it's kind of the same idea I guess as having like a streaming a horror game is less scary than um than doing it on
Playing
your
it by
own. Like
yourself.
yeah, exactly. So like
Yeah.
having someone like me who's there who can like chill with you and like you have like a comforting quote unquote voice in your ear. I don't know. I like that. I love it in general because I love horror, but I also like the fact that I can like go along for the journey. I guess live almost vicariously through that person that's getting scared and be
Yeah.
like, it's okay. Like we're good. We're good. It's all good.
Must be nice. And a slightly related thing, and also just to get back to the question, I
Yeah.
guess. But I remember watching you play Alone in the Dark 3. I was a bit more attentive during that stream than I was the other ones
Yeah.
because you were telling me about the TF.
thing. Yeah, okay, we can say that because I told Otterly there was TF. That's all I told him. He knows nothing else yet.
Nothing else. And I commented this on the stream as well, and I think Chili Max even replied to me, like, laughing at me, but I was just like, it seems like this game is just full of a bunch of Raichu going, and over here's the scary guy, he's in the corner, and then over here, there's never scary guy in the corner, and over here, there's never scary guy in the corner. I'm like, is that just the entire game? Are you just so used to playing this now as well that it's not even scary to you? You just know exactly where they're going to be. It's just like...
Yeah, it's interesting with Alone in the Dark in particular because, like, it's rare that I've played a game that often, but, like, you know, the first time I streamed it in 2020, I was kind of lost because I'd played it before, obviously, quite a few times in my life before.
Yeah.
But the first time I ever streamed it was 2020, and it had been a minute, so I was a lot more lost. But now it's literally, I mean, 2020, 2021, 22, 23. It's my 5th year streaming it. So now I'm so in tune with the game, playing it every year. Like, yeah, it's literally the back of my hand. Which is cool, and I don't know, it's a weird, it's an interesting experience, I feel like, right? Because, like, every year, you know, like I say, we have new people come about in the community. This year it was like you and Otterly. I was like, oh, really excited to show you guys. But every year there's like a few, you know, a handful of new, like, regular-ish people, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to show them this game because it is such a ridiculous series. Like, the veterans love watching it. It's kind of like when you're in the know about something, like the veterans are in the know, they're giggling, like they know what's going to come, and they know people are going to have reactions like you did when stuff happens, like, what in the F was that? And so they get to have a little giggle. I get to have a little giggle, yeah. And then the new people get to have like a what the hell is this moment? And it's a fun bonding experience. But yeah, I mean, that literally is what it's like. It's like, all right, it's more like almost like you're watching like a YouTube like walkthrough, like, you know, when you need like help on a game and you're stuck and you got to go on the walkthrough to figure out like what to do next. It's like, that's almost what I'm doing. But yeah, no, and they're not really scary. And I think it was really fun for me because, like, over the years, for the most part, my Spooky Month games, I rarely played games that were actually intended to be scary because I've never really thought of myself as like a good median for that content because, like, most people like watching people like you or someone that's going to scream or give them a reaction. Like, it's kind of boring to watch the Raichu walk through the hollow body, ultra scary stuff's happening, and I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. All right, how you doing, brother? Yeah, what's up?
Croydon?
Yeah, Croydon. Yeah. Oh, it's me, Sheldon, and stuff like that. Like, but I've also, like, I guess this year found, like, okay, there is something like endearing and like something people can enjoy about like someone who's not, you know, it's a different take on the horror genre where most people that are playing horror games on Twitch are having those reactions and screaming and stuff. And so maybe it is kind of fun to have someone who can like be silly and like lighthearted at moments that are supposed to be tense. So.
There's a I think I said earlier, like, every streamer can give like a different kind of experience with that kind of thing. You know, Markiplier is definitely more of a screamy, a little bit over the top reaction. I feel like I don't think I'm so over the top, but I'm definitely quite jumpy and quite screamy. But at the same time, you know, my character at any moment will just start breakdancing in the middle of the screen. I'll get anvils dropped on my head. vaRAIety will come in and he'll just say like
exactly,
over and over again. So a couple of my friends were like, "How am I supposed to take this like seriously, this horror game, when you're just dancing in the middle of the screen doing like Gangnam Style?" And I'm like, I don't know, but it's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's like a balance you can have. I think having the variety is good, and I think in some ways, you know, having a streamer that's not going to start screaming the house down every time, you know, text scrolls across the screen or something like that. You know, it's refreshing in some ways, and also it's quite funny just how deadpan you are sometimes. Like, oh yeah, that thing was supposed to scare me, but you know, they tried really hard, it didn't work. No. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's, and I think, I mean, I don't know if it was subconsciously or otherwise from watching your stream and like what the thing you just pointed out about your stream and that lightheartedness, but like, yeah, like I was still having fun. Like, I watch most of the horror streamers I watch are all the scaredy cats who scream and have a very serious screaming, horrifying stream when they play horror games. And so, yeah, I don't know, but I'm really happy. And like, I even made a poll in public on my Discord and said like, hey, would you guys be open to me playing horror games like at least somewhat more often, like once in a while? Because like, yeah, I love horror games, but I've never streamed them much because I thought it wasn't what people wanted. But I guess I just got to get that other perspective of like this year I was able to get the perspective of like, hey, it can be fun to like to not be afraid and like and see that reaction and have like again a horrifying. I'm walking through this horrifying like all by all intents and purposes that's supposed to be really scary. You go in this apartment like someone's dead. It's like very scary, and I'm going, "Hello, it's me, Sheldon," and like it was a good clip. Like it was pretty funny. Like so it's refreshing. So I'm excited because now I can play more horror games. I'm gonna play stupid ass Choo Choo Charles and. It's gonna be so funny. I'm sure.
I'm so ready. Like, yeah, even with my stream, you know, there was a scene in Alien Isolation where one of the main characters was like in the process of like dying horribly. It was like really tragic, and I'm just sitting there like, oh no, not you. Oh no, oh you're gonna die. Oh no, that's awful. Oh no, oh no, oh she did a flip. Wow. Oh my god, that's amazing. Wow, 10 out of 10. You know, I was like. I'm not emotionally invested in this character.
Right?
I'm just gonna make it funny, you know. It's just you can get away with some different things.
Yeah.
And, you know, whereas like someone like Markiplier might have been like sobbing and like crying and like
no
telling us all about this character, you know. It's just like I don't care.
Exactly. and I mean, honestly, I think your take like on that is probably what I mean. I'm gonna be honest. I'm in the Twitch stream. I'm not invested in what the characters are on the screen. Like as the audience, I'm thinking the same thing you are. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't give a shit about this person. Yeah, kill him. So I'm sure people felt like they could relate to that versus maybe something where it's like more serious and we're like, we're not watching the GameOrca stream to have like this most serious, very professional time where we all just talk like this and we just like we don't have any fun. It's very serious. Like no one there is for that. Okay, you're in the wrong stream if you're looking for that. So
there might be splashes of that here and there, but you know, it's just good vibes mostly. I don't want to be too serious. Maybe depending on the game.
Yeah.
You know, I can't really imagine King Panda playing Kingdom Hearts and like then just suddenly start like breakdancing in the middle of a really
of a serious scene.
Like,
yeah,
exactly. But on my stream, you can totally expect
it's going down, and I will absolutely like. And this is probably a bad thing, but like I've caught myself like Kingdom Hearts is like a very emotional cutscene, and someone will say something funny in chat, and I just scream out with laughter and read it out, and I'm just like laughing over the entire like Kyrie, please, and I'm just like screaming with laughter, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a cutscene, my bad. So it's funny. It is the contrast though, because like King, he'll get like a big raid during the cutscene, and he'll be like, okay, guys, hold on. We got to wait till the end of the cutscene before I can talk to you. And I'm like, oh, I'm screaming. If something exciting happens in the middle of the cutscene, I am screaming my lungs out in the middle of that damn cutscene. So it's interesting. It's a cool contrast, but you know, like it takes all types, and like some people want to watch that very like more. I don't know if professional is the right word, but like more like they're playing the game, I guess, as it is intended to be played more so with the proper emotion put into the game. Like the developers of Hollow Body did not intend for someone to walk into that room and say, Sheldon, you know, but that's how we play it. And they didn't expect in Alien Isolation to have a break dancing orca on the screen when like the alien's about to eat your, I can't say that word. You can use your imagination, but yeah, so I don't know. It takes all types, and I mean that's the best part about Twitch is like whatever you like, there will be someone for you to watch, and more than likely there will be many people for you to watch. But yeah, that's the cool thing. So I guess I'll just finish off Ross's question. How do you do with playing horror games? I mean, I don't know, Ross. You watch my stream, so I don't know if we're talking to me, but I am unfortunately way too desensitized to horror. Horror is my favorite genre, and I'm extremely desensitized. So. I can play any horror game, and I mean, I don't know. I haven't found any that made me actually scared, at least at this point in my life. Maybe when I was younger, like when I was younger, yeah, things were scary. When I was a little kid, like Resident Evil seemed like the scariest game ever. But like, as an adult, nothing really scares me. I can play whatever. Yeah, the scary part is GameOrca's questions about hatred every week. That's the scariest part of my week. But
I'm just imagining baby Raichu playing Resident Evil 1 and the dog jumps through the window and he's just going, yeah, the dog jumped through the window, but you know, that didn't scare me. Like,
okay, like, so I've talked about this, and I believe you're a Majora's Mask fan. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. Like
so I've talked about this, and I think I may have said this, but who knows if you were there, because you know, it's interesting because like you're obviously at work during my stream, so sometimes I might say something and I think you're there, but you're not there. But like, so when Majora's Mask is one of the funnier things that scared me as a little kid, because like the part of the game where like you're on the farm and you have to protect it from the aliens.
Yeah.
That was the scariest shit to me. I could not do it. I had to have someone else do that for me because those aliens, like the song that plays in majority, like that is a scary. First off, that song still hits to this day. That is a pretty, and it's like Nino. Let me see if I can play it on the stream.
Pretty spooky song.
Majority. I'm gonna play it for you guys in case there's any people who haven't played Majora's Mask, which I mean, I can't. What would be the thing to type? Farm? Alien? I don't know. Ranch aliens.
Yeah, Majora's Mask, like alien.
Aliens song.
Defense or something like that.
Yeah, let's see here. Here we go. All right.
I know exactly what song you're thinking of, though. I can picture
it.
Yeah,
you can't hear it. Obviously, it's in my earphones though. I'll send you the link just so you can enjoy it. But yeah, this is a scary. It's a scary song. It's a disturbing song. And I think in general, I mean, Majora's Mask as a kid scared me in general to some extent. Like even, I haven't played Majora's Mask in a hot minute, but I remember like, I think it's the first dungeon and you can like fall down and then there's like monsters in the darkness. And I remember just little things like that. Like Majora's Mask is a very unsettling game.
It's pretty spooky.
So it's no wonder that like there's like creepypastas based on it and stuff because it really is it doesn't fit with the other Zelda games nor other games around that time. Like it really is like, honestly, like I have to say, like it kind of is like a creepypasta where it's like you think you're in like this friendly game, like, oh, it's a Zelda game, this is going to be really friendly, right? And then like shit is just not like other Zelda games.
It's such a departure from Ocarina of Time, especially the game that preceded it.
Which I love that about it. I like it might be my favorite Zelda game. Like it is an incredible game, but it's weird. I mean, I like weird games, so it works. But like weird game,
like Glow in the Dark.
Yeah,
I mean, what?
I do. No, and for real, like that's why I love it. It is a weird game, and like I talk about it a lot, but like I don't even, to be honest, I don't even. As far as like gameplay, like I don't like playing Majora's Mask as much as like most Zelda games because it's frustrating to play. But like
it's frustrating and stressful.
Yeah, exactly. But it's such a cool like I like watching people play it, and I love the game in general. Like I think there's so many cool things, and like I learn new things about that game all the time. I'm like, whoa, that's a thing. Like that's crazy. And I love and it's interesting for me though, because like, I don't know if there's another game that I really feel like I have that relationship with where I don't think it's a fun game for me to play, but I think it's really like the lore is really cool and it's a really cool game. Do you have anything like that you can think of off the top of your head? Like for you?
League of Legends.
You don't like the lore of League of Legends, do you?
I love the world around League of Legends.
Okay, valid.
I love all the I don't love all the characters. That's a lie. That would be a complete lie. But I love the the lore of the world. Arcane is so amazing.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Issues, but it's so good. Legends of Runeterra, the card game, had so much world building for a lot of the characters and stuff like that.
I liked playing that game. Runeterra.
The meme is, you watch Arcane and then you're like, wow, I want to play the game this is based off, and then you play League and then you get diagnosed with depression immediately afterwards. It's like I have fun with League, but it's one of those games where I like everything about it a lot more than the actual game itself. And Majora's Mask, I can probably agree with you. It's such a fascinating game. It's so creepy. There's so much to that game. Like all the characters and stuff. It's so much more in depth than Ocarina of Time ever could be. But actually playing Majora's Mask, it's like, it's so stressful. I don't know. It's insane.
And it's such a weird feeling because like I'm thinking about it right now and I'm like, man, it would be great to dive into that world. And I'm like, do I want to play that game? Hell no. But like, do I want to experience that world right now? Absolutely. I really do. But do I want to play it? Hell no. And for me, that's the only one. Like League is not like that. Like I've never been too big on the League lore. Like I like the game, but I've never been much on the lore. So like, I cannot relate there, but yeah, Majora's Mask it's an interesting, I mean, shit, it's not classified as a horror game, but that's a pretty horrifying game.
I'd say it's a horror game, honestly, or it's got a lot of horror elements to it.
Absolutely.
Especially the theme that plays, 2 minutes before the moon's going to fall.
Oh, 100%.
That is horrifying.
Yeah, it's a dark game. Yeah, and I love that. Even as a kid, like I played the game for the amount of trauma it gave me and the amount of like frustration and all the bad emotions. Like I still wanted to keep playing. So I mean, I give them credit for that. And now it's like I have been on the fence. We've been talking about me streaming a Zelda game because I've never streamed a Zelda game, and we've been talking about it. The first time I remember us talking about it was early 2021. Like, hey guys, what kind of Zelda game do you think I would stream? Like, if I streamed a Zelda game, like, what should we play? And like ever since then, every once in a while, I think like maybe I should have a Majora's Mask stream, and then I'm like, that would be a horrible game to stream. Can you imagine like me streaming like? Like streaming is it's not stressful per se, but like when stuff starts going bad and you're streaming, the stress is amplified. And I can just imagine like losing my progress because of some stupid shit in that game and just like it ruining my day. So I'm like, I think I'll stick to, if I'm gonna play a Zelda game, maybe Ocarina of Time, maybe something like Link to the Past, like something kind of like fun. Wind Waker is a chill game, like. There's a lot of great choices. Like I love Majora's Mask, but you know what? I'm going to stick to watching YouTube videos and maybe other people playing it because I don't know. I'm aware of the effect that it will have on me the first time I lose like 2 hours of progress in my entire stream. All the progress I made is just done. It will be very, very upsetting, and I will cry so much. I don't want to cry, but. Yeah, thank you, Ross. That was a good question. I hope I don't know if you already knew the answer for me or if that was mostly aimed toward GameOrca, but yeah, I would say let me as a third party, he does well with horror. He does get scared, but he powers through. So honestly, I think you are right in the wheelhouse of like the peak horror game streamer in my opinion. If I was going to go watch a horror game streamer, you would be right in the wheelhouse of like the perfect amount of scared, but also I'm not gonna have to watch you in the pause menu for an hour. Sorry, Pocat, if you ever watch this. There's a sweet spot. Yeah. So
there's a sweet spot.
Yeah. All righty. Question number 8 from Chili Mex. Wow. He had like a little gap there, and now we're back to Chili Mex. That's interesting.
Real hard. Oh man. And he was thinking. He said he had 2 questions. And he was cooking up the third one.
He's cooking up a serious one. It says one final serious question for both of you.
Oh no.
What is the one thing, which can also be a person, a thought, an action, anything, that can immediately brighten you up a bit when you're not in a great mood? Aw. Is there anything you can rely on when you're feeling down?
Oh.
Well, GameOrca has a fiance, so he can choose that, but...
Well, yeah. That's definitely one of them.
But maybe we can go for each category. You can say a person, a thought, an action, like a game, like, I don't know, in different categories. Like, what are some different... Like, what's a game?
A game. Ooh. Well, it has to be League of... I mean...
Kingdom Hearts? That's King Panda's, I know. That's probably Chili Mex's as well.
I might be pandering to the Chili Mex... you know what Chili Mex wants
Spyro
me to
2,
say.
I got you.
Spyro 2 is definitely one of my favorite, most fondest games of all time. There's a lot to that game that makes me happy, from the music and the worlds. And I know Chili Mex was gushing about... I think it was Autumn Plains when he was on the podcast, like 5 million years ago, whatever it was. I don't remember.
Yeah, 4 whole episodes. Whoa.
Yeah, Spyro 2 has a lot of nice scenery, a lot of nice music. It's just an overall very charming game, and I think Raishi should play it. Just wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
I have played it many years ago. Like, I have like, it's like those those early childhood memories where you're like, I don't even know if I ever beat the game. Like, I definitely played it, but I have no idea if I ever beat it. Probably not. And I remember nothing. Like, it will be completely fresh when I do play it, and I do intend, though I'm not sure if it might end up. Chili Mex and I had discussed that it could end up being a YouTube series. It will definitely happen. But I don't know if it'll happen. I don't know. Maybe we can do like Spyro 1 is on a YouTube series, and then Spyro 2 is on live, because you guys got to watch me play Spyro 2. So
I'm gonna riot.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's another game that I've been talking about streaming for so long. But it's such a challenge because there's so many games to play, and I know you attest to that too. And like,
don't look at my Steam library.
I could stream for the next 50 years and be through like 10% of my collection at most.
Yeah. What's my Steam library at the moment? I'm gonna cry when I read this number out. In terms of things that I think about that make me happy, I guess my cat, who's sadly no longer alive, but yeah, she was great. I love my cat a lot, and her name was Fluffy because she was fluffy. And
yeah, I think we had that chat. Yeah, you were asking me about Jax's name when we played League last week, and I remember you told me about Fluffy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably probably also I have 1,017 games in my Steam library.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I only have 719, but I have 4,000 on my shelves in my house, so I've got enough, you know.
You probably don't need to buy a single new game for the rest of your life.
Oh, and I would not, get through any, and I still would get through such a small fraction of stuff. So yeah, 100%. But I promise you, when that winter sale happens in 2 weeks, I'm definitely buying games.
Oh yeah, I also bought stuff on the autumn sale. I'm like, damn, I've got a lot of games. I don't need any more. Oh, wow, autumn sale on Steam. Well, sign me up. You know?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was browsing Steam earlier, and then I saw this game called Kiwi, and it was like suggested to me, and I was like, oh, that's like a Kiwi, like vaRAIety. And I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna tell him about this game, and then I see 5 friends want this game, and guess who's on that list?
Oh no.
You. Even today, I played this game. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Luck Be a Landlord, and
I have heard of that. Yeah.
and it's a slot machine roguelike, and there's a free demo, and I played the demo, and I was like, oh man, this is fun. I want to buy this, and I'm like, I'll wait till like the winter sale. Maybe it'll go on sale for more off.
Yeah.
But it's pretty dang fun, and I was very tempted. Like, I was actually really enjoying it, and I was very tempted to like, I could just buy it right now. Like, it's fine. Like, who can stop me? I could just buy it and play it right now. But I didn't do it, but I was tempted. I was very tempted. So
it's such a drug. It's such a just games. I love games.
And I'll give the chat a funny one today. So yesterday, vaRAIety and I were in Junie's stream, and he was playing this game called Lunis. How do you say that? Lunistis?
Yeah, something like that.
And he was playing this game called Lunistis, and I was watching it, and vaRAIety made a comment in the chat, I think, like, oh, it looks cool. And I was like, oh, that does look cool. And so I went to my Steam library, and I was like looking, I went to the store page, and I was like, oh, I want to get this game. It looks cool. And then I looked, and then it's already in my Steam library, and I like sent a meme to vaRAIety, and I was like, vaRAIety, look how stupid I am. Like, I already owned it. And he's like, oh, I just checked, and I already own it too. So, you know, it is what it is.
Is the difficulty of just collecting games and also having a Humble Bundle subscription, because that's probably where we got it from.
Yeah. Do you utilize your favorite section on your Steam much, or?
I have a bunch of games in my favorite section.
Me too, and mine's almost too long, so now it doesn't even function well because I have too many games in there. That's what the problem I'm going through.
See, the thing is, a lot of these games I've played and I'll probably never play again. Like the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, I played that game. It was amazing. I'm probably never going to play it again, but it's one of my favorites. BlazBlue Central Fiction, I have played that game for too many hours, about 1,000 hours, and I will play it again. So that's there for a reason. But, you know, I have, what do I have in here? I think I have some kind of, no, I don't have a demo. I've got Spyro Reignite Trilogy in here. Wow. Makes it like that.
Wait, I might have it in there too. Oh no, Spyro's not in my favorite. Sorry, I should add it.
Why am I even here?
Yeah, you should go and you should leave. But no, like it's funny because like I'm the same way. Like I have games that I haven't played in 2-3 years that are in my favorites. I have been trying to be better about removing things from favorites sometimes, but then I think like, oh well, I might want to play this again, so I should just leave it. You know, like the slippery slope.
That's exactly what I have with installed games, where I've got like, I have like 5 gigabytes left available on my hard drive. Let me see what games I can uninstall. Oh, this game is like Black Ops 3. It's taking up 200 gigabytes on my hard drive. I should uninstall that. But you know, I might play that again sometime, so I should probably just leave it installed.
That's me. That's me with Valorant, which I don't know if you ever played Valorant, but like I played it a little bit, but it's been many years, and I'll just say this: there won't be a desire I ever have, like where I wake up and I'm like, I want to play Valorant, but I leave the 100 gig, monstrosity installed because I have the fear of like one day I'm sitting there and someone I want to hang out with is like, hey, Raichu, let's play Valorant, and like then I have to say, oh, I don't have it installed. So like, what if that happens? I have to keep it installed. Exactly. Like you never know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly. You just never know.
Yeah, like who knows? Like even though I don't know anyone that I hang out with regularly that plays Valorant, like what if for some reason someone plays Valorant and wants me to play Valorant with them? Like I can't tell them I have to wait an hour for the game to install. No, I got to have it ready to go, like right that moment.
You got to be ready for when Chilla next starts his pro Valorant.
I think he used to play Valorant. I think we talked about this, but I don't know if you remember it or you heard it, but like Chili Mex's first ever Raichu stream was me playing Valorant.
Oh, that's right.
Because the game interested him. It was in the beta, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play this new game, and I'm like, and it was like I didn't have a regular streaming schedule. It was the very beginning of 2020, and I didn't have a regular schedule. It was just like I woke up and I was like, I've got this new game and it's like in beta and I kind of want to try it. So okay, well, what if I like stream it? And so I streamed it, and then like for the first time ever, oh, hello, Chili Mex, I know you from Twitter. Whoa, that's crazy. And
Whoa, that's so weird.
And now 5 years later, the rest is history. Insane.
And then you're watching Stay Alive. Chili Mex on his birthday.
Great birthday, great. I'm sorry we didn't get to have a birthday party for you. Next year we're gonna watch a really bad horror movie on your birthday.
I'm sitting here watching you wishing all these Team Thunderfang members a happy birthday, and I'm like, but it was my birthday a couple months
Wait, did
ago.
I not wish you a happy birthday on yours? Hold on.
You did.
I did. Okay. Okay. Right.
I wasn't in Team Thunderfang, but at that point,
oh, true. Like, oh, you're right.
Damn,
I forgot.
I missed out on that.
That's so
crazy.
Real. Yeah, you're right. Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
That was my birthday present to you. I pushed to have you join.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
You know, who knows what sway I had, but like in my own mind, I'm like so influential and like persuasive. So you know what? In my own mind, it was all me. In everyone else's mind, maybe it was a total group decision, but in my mind, I persuaded everyone. So you know, and that's and perception is reality. So I guess we'll just assume
you are a founding member of Team Thunderfang. So
that's me. I'm in the logo.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that was GameOrca's answer to that question. So would you say, I mean, I don't know, just on a tangent to that, I know Chili Mex utilizes games a lot. Would you say if you're feeling bad, like booting up a game is a likely route you might take, or would that be one of the first things you would do, or do you think you would do something else, or?
Honestly, the first thing I would probably do is go and binge some old Markiplier.
Oh, okay, that's a good choice. Yeah.
Old JonTron before he stopped being cool, and some old Peanut Butter Gamer, old Pro Jared, stuff like that. All those kind of videos, I would go binge watch those, and that would immediately make me feel better.
Yep.
If I needed something more tactile to do, then a comfortable nostalgic game would probably be my next go-to.
Gotcha.
Like Spyro.
Yeah, and I hadn't really thought about that, but that's a good point. Like, I think I do a similar thing in terms of like YouTube videos. Like, you got your comfort channels, and I'm I'm definitely someone who almost too much leans into comfort things rather than trying something new oftentimes. And it's like, oh, I just want to be comfortable right now, so I'm going to do this comfort thing. So I definitely relate to that. That's a very, very good point. I know sometimes at night I've been, you know, it'll be like late at night and you're like, oh, I feel lonely, or I feel like I need some comfort. And like you put on like a JonTron video. I did that like last year. I don't know if you ever watched JonTron's Kid Nation video. Like that's one of my comfort JonTron videos, and one of many. But yeah, so I think that's a good technique. So I'll answer your questions, Chili Mex. We'll save the person for the end, but like an action or anything. I think in general for me, my and I think I'm maybe better at it than others, in the sense of like I'm pretty good at like taking a step back when things are looking bad. I'm usually pretty decent most of the time at just like at thinking about the things I have, like the people in my life that like, and it's easy when you're feeling bad to write everything off like, oh, I don't really have much. But like if you really take a step back, like for me, I've always been pretty good at that. So I think I do a pretty good job of like taking a step back and saying like, well, I have like friends and family that care about me a lot. I have a good job. Like I have a dog. Like I have all these things that like can like my life is fine. Like whatever I'm going through right now is not actually like the end of the world, or whatever bad feeling I'm feeling is probably not as bad. So I think I do good about that. But the way I tend to alleviate that is, think about the things that I have, or the people in my life, which we'll come back to that. But yeah, I think the general thought is just like, like I have good things, and like again, it's easy to write off that like, oh, I don't think many people actually like me. But when like you take a step back and you think like, there's people in my life that value me. Like even yesterday, like I was having kind of a stressful day at work. I was having a pretty, I would say a midday by vaRAIety standards, even maybe below mid. And then I was in the Junie stream, and then Yasha out of the blue gifted me the emote that I've been really, really, really wanting. And I was like, wow, like someone really, like Yasha went out of his way to do like something incredibly nice for me. So like, it's not all bad, right? Like someone just like thought of you enough to like do this really, really, really like over the top nice thing for you. That he didn't even know that I wanted that emote that badly, right? So it's like, but yeah, so I think like things like that, like just take a step back and think about like, you know, things like that. People in your life, things they've done for you, things you've done for them. I, you know, I don't know for me if there's a particular person, but I can say at various times, and I talked about it a lot during the last episode. For those of you who listen, I don't even know if GameOrca listened to the last episode yet fully, but
Not fully, no. I'm
but
behind on the
yeah,
podcast lore.
I hear you. No, I talked a lot about last stream. Like for me, I spend a lot of time thinking about the people in my life as like a pick me up, like the people that are a big part of my life, like my close friends and you know, family and otherwise. But like, so I don't have a particular person, but I can say like anyone who's probably listening, there's probably a time where I've thought of you to cheer me up. Like I can definitely say Chili Max, Yasha, like GameOrca, like, and many other people that are probably listening to this podcast. There have almost certainly been times for me when I have maybe not felt my best, and then I thought like, oh, like this person's in my life, like it's not so bad. So, for me, I don't have a single person like a, you know, like a Ked for GameOrca, that's his fiance, but like I utilize the knowledge that I know, and I'm, you know, lucky to have a lot of people in my life that I'm close with that I can kind of lean on. I don't have to lean on any one person when I'm feeling bad, and even not in the like physical sense of like, you know, you can feel bad and you can go into someone's DMs and like tell them you're feeling bad and like, hey, I need your, like, can we chat or something? But like just the general kind of emotional feeling of like, I can think about some, like many people in my life, and they can make me feel better just knowing they're a part of my life. Like I can know like, yeah, like it's a random Tuesday, I'm having a shitty day, I'm feeling down. Well, I know this really cool guy named GameOrca, and I'm going to get to chat with him and hang out in his stream later. And so that's something to look forward to. For me, I definitely utilize the things to look forward to, whether they be big or small. Sometimes it can be something big, like a vacation or a trip or a holiday or something. And sometimes it can be small. Sometimes it'll be a shitty Thursday and I'll go, well, at least I have my stream today, or at least I have Yasha's stream to watch today, or it's a GameOrca on a Tuesday or whatever. I can at least, I give myself like, hey, like, yeah, you're not feeling great, but you have this thing coming up that is a pleasant thing that you enjoy. And so let's just make it to that. I've always kind of lived my life like that and it's a philosophy I take, and I think it could help others, but I always live my life in chunks. And what I mean by that is like, sometimes life is just stressful. Sometimes you are just getting absolutely crushed. So like,
Yeah.
I tend to look ahead to like, okay, so right now I'm getting crushed, but like I know Christmas is coming up, so I'll have a little bit more of a chill time, or what this holiday, or I have a con coming up, or I have like next week I have like I'm gonna do a collab with GameOrca, even something small like that. Like I tend to look for even little things that I can kind of have coming up, and that kind of like gives you, at least for me, it gives me the motivation. Like I know like it's Monday. Let's just like theoretically say, okay, it's Monday and oh God, this week has started off bad. It's going bad. Like, oh Lord, this is going to be a week. However, I know on Saturday, I'm like playing Alone in the Dark with GameOrca, something like I know that I'm really freaking excited for example. So I have something to kind of like give myself like to lock in on, like, okay, I just got to get to that. And it kind of like gives me the pick me up to like, okay, I'm going to get through it. Like we had the same thing with Otterly's birthday party last week. Like that was something like before that, like I even on the Wednesday, remember when I had my 5:30 a.m. meeting, I was like, oh God, today is the worst day ever. But I have like these things to look forward to. I have like a long weekend for the holiday. I have this birthday party I've been looking forward to like doing. And so I have something to like, to look ahead to. So I think that's important. And it's important to give yourself things to look forward to, because again, I think a lot of people like have like, you know, it's easy to be in a funk. You're not feeling good. And like, it's like, I don't have anything to look forward to. Like even something small, like I don't mean to undersell it, but like a stream that you like to watch is not like a major life event. Like it's not like a game. It's not like going to like a furry con or like a major life event. Like watching GameOrca's normal Tuesday stream is like, we're most likely just going to hang out and chat, and it's not going to be anything like ultra unique, right? Like, or like something I haven't done before. Like there's a difference between like, I'm going to go on like a week vacation to like this place I've never been versus like, I'm going to watch GameOrca's stream that I watch 3 times a week already. But you can still give yourself something small to like kind of look forward to that. And I think that's a good way to lift up your mood, is to have something small. And thankfully I know Chili Mex has done this firsthand because he's told me about it, but like, using my stream during the pandemic when times were really, really hard, was his pick me up that like most like life kind of sucked for him. But he had those stream days that he could look forward to. Like, well, at least like I have this to look forward to that'll get me through to then, and we'll have some good times. And then like, then we'll, I don't know what it'll be after that, but we're going to make it there. We're going to enjoy ourselves, have some good times, and then we'll see where life heads like that. So it's kind of like, I feel like it's just a matter of, you're kind of just surviving through those times, and I guess it really comes down to seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Like I have this light. The light is like a vacation or a GameOrca stream or like a vaRAIety stream or like a
Kingdom Hearts.
a hangout or anything. Even it can be something simple like I'm gonna go play like games with my friends on Friday or something. Like it doesn't have to be something big. It can just be something small to look forward to. So I think it's really important to have a perspective of like I have something in my life to look forward to, and I guess for me also, and I think GameOrca, you've been you've been very dedicated with sticking to your consistent schedule. And for me, with streaming, that is. And for me, it's the same thing. Like, I know on these days, I'm going to have these things to do that I really enjoy. So it's kind of like setting these kind of roadblocks in your life of like, it's almost like the bad stuff. Like it can't cross that roadblock. So you've got these like positive little like chunks throughout your week to kind of break up the monotony of life. Because life is sometimes monotonous and sometimes stressful and shitty.
Yeah. And I think just having even something, doesn't matter how big it is.
It doesn't matter how big.
Yeah, having just anything to kind of break your thought pattern and get out of those like shitty thoughts is game changing, to be honest. Because you just sit and doom scroll, you're just going deeper into the rabbit hole. But having something to break the cycle, it makes the world a difference. I feel like, and it can be anything. It can be a stream. It can be a game. It can be, I'm gonna get chocolate cake this weekend.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Like food. Like, like, oh, I'm gonna get this pizza from my favorite place. I love pizza, something like that.
It can be so many things.
I
kind of like talking about it occasionally, but the power of thought is very, very, very powerful, and you kind of don't realize it a lot of the time. I think there was some discussion recently about, slightly unrelated to low mood, but not having the confidence to do things.
Right.
It's like, well, I don't always have the confidence to do things, but sometimes I just have to convince myself that I can do it, and then suddenly I'm doing it, and it's fine. Like you just have to break the cycle of the negative thoughts or the doubting thoughts, and you can get through it as long as you have enough confidence in yourself. And it does take time to learn that, but you can do it. And it's the same with
it's like anything, you got to practice.
So having like I've previously used streams as something I look forward to during the week. My work is quite monotonous at the moment and quite boring. So when Jazz Art was my main at the start of the week before you streamed, Jazz Art was streaming quite a lot, and then I was like, oh, that's the way to start off my week. Look forward to the Jazz Art stream, then the King Panda stream, and the vaRAIety stream. And then Jazz Art started streaming at night, and kind of had to take a break. And I'm like, oh,
well, it's just me.
But
yeah, no, and it really does come down to mindset, and that's why I talk about it a lot, because there's the perception sometimes that, and it's good that you're on here saying that you're scared too, and it's like I talk about it a lot, but like the perception, like, oh, I can't do that. It's right, you can do it because he's really confident, but like I can't do that. But everyone's scared. Like I said, I get nervous in social situations sometimes, meeting new people. Sometimes I get nervous. I get nervous when I have to do something big or like a big life thing or anything. And I get depressed and I get sad. All these emotions that you're feeling, I definitely feel them too. GameOrca feels them. We all feel them. And it's just a matter of kind of like how you trick your brain, in the sense of like that when your brain tells you can't do this, you kind of trick it into, oh, maybe I can. It's the same thing about like when your brain's feeling sad, you trick it into like, because like, let's face it, like if I'm really not doing good, like the GameOrca stream isn't going to fix all my problems, right? But I can trick my brain like I have this thing to look forward to, and then your brain goes, oh yeah, true, like you do have this nice thing. So you're kind of tricking your brain, and it's kind of like until you're whatever you have going on passes, like you're in the meantime, you can kind of trick your brain and kind of fake it till you make it. I mean, we're all faking it in life to some extent. And so it's like, yeah, just you got to kind of fake it until you pretend to be happy until you actually are happy if you need to. If that's what you need to do to feel better, try it. And yeah, I like you said, the same thing for me. Joining streams is a great way to just kind of get lost in silliness and hang out with people and just chill. So
yeah, exactly.
and yeah, so I think Chili Mech's a good thing that you can utilize maybe is just have something to look forward to, whether that be small, big, or otherwise. I think for me, I think we both kind of answered that there's not really necessarily a specific thing, but just kind of the idea of giving yourself something positive, whatever it may be, and kind of tricking your brain into not, for lack of a better way to say it, into not being down or sad or struggling.
Yeah, just something to break the cycle, stop yourself spiraling.
Yep.
It's just anything. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It doesn't have to be profound. It could literally be, wow, I have one ice cube for my Coca-Cola. That's amazing. I'm gonna have some nice, cool Coca-Cola. That's great. That's a bit of a silly example, but
Yeah.
it's like
You
you
see
can find
something.
joy in silly things. And,
Absolutely, yeah, and it really doesn't need to be big, and I think that's the key. A lot of people think like that they need like something major, but it can be something small. Treat yourself to an ice cream if you want an ice cream. Like watch, treat like GameOrca said, treat yourself to watching like a JonTron video or like a Markiplier video, whatever, like a YouTuber video that you want to watch. Like just treat yourself to like something nice that like, and if you're having a tough day, like here's like me on like Wednesday, I was up at freaking, the last week 5:30 a.m. and I hated freaking life. And I was like, oh well, when I get out of work, I am gonna go watch Wicked, which I've been wanting to do. And so like I had something to like to get through the day, and then I had that, and then I had the GameOrca stream at night. So it's like you're just kind of like bridging. I always say that like bridge your way through the dark times. Like it's like if you're in a freaking you're standing in front of like a big sea of water, and you need to just like build yourself a little small bridge to get to the other side, and then you just kind of keep building on it and get to where you're going eventually. But yeah, so
exactly.
that was an interesting topic. Thanks, Chili Mex.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this is by you. Is this by you? It says the Vorka. Would you actually do that, or is this someone else?
No.
Is this you?
No. Oh no.
At first I was like, I thought they were when I first read it, like I just assumed everyone was asking you questions. So I was like, oh, would you prefer to TF into Raiju or Raichu? And I was like, oh, I wonder what GameOrca will say to that. GameOrca, do you want to answer? Are you more a dragon guy or an electric mouse guy?
I do like dragons, but I like real dragons that don't have fur.
Oh, sorry.
So,
yeah, you like your dragons edgy and badass, not cute and fluffy.
I do. I genuinely do. I'm sorry. Team fluffy? No, I'm team edgy.
That's true.
I'm not,
That's you.
Can't deal with that.
That's you. You're team smooth skin.
Exactly.
But no, so that's a good question. So I've talked about it a lot, and my answer a year ago might have been actually different. So like I've always talked about how like I relate to Raichu, like the electric mouse, more than I do Raiju, but I use the Raiju model because I relate more to the model. Like I like the model in the stream, but as a character, I relate to Raichu. But I've also kind of found myself, I mean, you could see it on my Telegram, on my Discord, on my Twitter, and on my Blue Sky. Those are my big four. All of them are the Raiju icon, which has never, ever, ever, ever happened before. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of feeling a little more Raiju lately, and I mean, I think it is a character. And it's interesting because like a lot of art, at least for me, in terms of like furriness, what character I relate to, it's kind of like if I'm getting art of Raichu, then maybe I feel more like him, and if I'm getting good art of Raiju, then maybe I feel more like him. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Most of my art I've been getting has been Raiju. I see Raiju, the model, all the time on the podcast and on the stream and everything. So I guess I would say as of right now, it would be Raiju, which would not be the answer I would have given you a year ago.
Interesting.
But it's just kind of evolved. And I mean, people know me as the dragon now. It's very interesting. And like, I mean, people like you and many, many others have never, ever seen, maybe like I switched to the Raichu model one time or something as like a joke, but like you've never actually seen me do like streams with it. So it's kind of interesting how I don't know. It's always fascinating, like how a character can kind of like fade away, so to speak. Like it won't ever fully fade away because he'll be with me and he'll be with the people who have seen the Raichu art and knew me when I was just
Mhm.
Raichu. But it's kind of interesting how things kind of for a TF pun, they kind of like shapeshift over time into I don't know, they just kind of evolve as they will. There's your
Yeah.
Pokemon pun too. So
Wow.
you
Oh my
know,
god.
yeah,
Covering all the bases.
we got
That's
everything
crazy.
covered. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So many years ago, I got like the quintessential Raichu piece, which is like the most. I'm gonna see if I can find it. You've seen it, but I'm gonna send it to you on Discord just so uh, you
Yummers.
can relate. Let's see, where is it? I got too many folders on my PC. I'm so organized.
Oh no.
This one, and then this one. Not that one. This one, and then okay. So this was like the quintessential Raichu art piece. Can I send that here? Let's see here. All right. So this was like my friend made this for me in 20 what
Oh
year? I don't
yeah.
know. So and that was like I don't know why that piece resonated with me. I use that as my icon everywhere for so long. It's easily in the top 3 arts I've ever gotten, and it's like
Mm.
a piece that very much resonates with me. I think it's like a good vibe. I got like the cocktail. I got like my Rock Kigu. He looks cute. Like everything's great about it. Like really cool. And
Yeah.
so like at that time, I was feeling like ultra connected. Like Raiju the character existed, but I didn't really use any of the art, and I used this, and it was like really freaking awesome. And I mean, I still love it. It's one of my all-time favorite arts. And then I guess I don't know when I got this art, which I'm using as my icon here and everywhere. It was kind of like the first Raiju piece that I'd gotten that I was like that kind of hit to that level where I was like, whoa, like this really feel like this is my vibe. Like this feels like me. Like this is like really awesome. Like I don't know if you can relate, but like when you get that art piece that like really hits with the character,
Hmm.
um, that's what happened to me with this Raiju art piece. And so right now I'm kind of like it excites me, like because I'd never had a Raiju art piece that resonated with me like this one does,
Yeah.
and so I guess it's kind of like hopeful that like wow, like I got this art piece of Raiju that really resonated with me, so like that can happen, and now like I'm probably gonna have more arts like that resonate with me like this, and so that's really exciting. Um,
Yeah. And it's weird for me because for the longest time I didn't really have much art in my Orca, to be
mhm.
honest. Even now I still don't have much art in my Orca. The art that does exist may not be spoken about upon this Christian podcast. However, as I've been streaming and I've been drawing my own emotes and stuff like that for the most part, and I've gotten a lot of commissions. Not Mini Orca was not a commission. Actually, kind of was actually. It was like a sub. I donated a sub to Sabertooth, and she drew Mini Orca for me. And at the time, this was before streaming was even a twinkle in my eye.
Yep.
I was just like, oh, that's funny. It's like Whale Lord, but it's my Orca. Haha,
Yeah.
that's cute. Um, and now he's evolved into some horrible monstrosity that lurks in my streams and
Yeah.
causes mayhem. Um, but I don't have any I don't have your equivalent of like a Raichu or a Raichu art for my Orca yet.
Yeah.
But as I've been streaming, I've been getting closer and closer to it, and I feel
Mm.
more connected to my persona nowadays than I did before.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for that moment to hit for me, but I can envision what you
Yeah.
what you're
And I think
describing.
even having the model hits because like I had like almost zero connection to Raiju at the point when I got the model. And then
Right.
that super raised the connection. And then like even more so now because yeah, the model is like obviously like great, but I still only technically use it a few hours a week, right? Versus like an icon where like you're on Discord and Telegram and Twitter and stuff every day, like all
Yeah.
day, or you know, not all day, but a lot of the time. Um, so I guess it just hits a little different. And it's funny because you mentioned the mini Orca thing, and I've talked about this, and I don't want to assume that you have heard this before, so I'm going to tell you the story. But like the way Raiju came to exist was like just as like a joke too, like a silly little thing. Like I was in a call with my with Leo and 2 other friends, Sushi
Mhm.
and Nick Opossum, if you have ever seen their art. Um,
I don't think
and
so.
they live with Sushi. So they're like besties, and
Okay.
so like the 4 of us used to hang out, and so we were hanging out one Saturday. We hung out every single Saturday, and they're all in Europe. So as you might know, hanging out, living in Europe, having American friends, it would be like daytime for me and nighttime for them. Uh,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we would hang out every like Saturday afternoon. For me, it was like their late night hangout, and for me, it was like, oh, it's early in the day. But so one time I made a joke like, I want to be like Sushi's a fluffy dragon, and so like I made a joke to like and Nick is like an artist, a very does art full time, great artist, and they and I made a joke like, I want to be a fluffy dragon too. And we were like playing games, and then like 30 minutes later, I don't know how they did it while we were playing games. They send me this like let me see if I actually have the very most original art, because you might not have seen it. Where is it? Let's see here. But yeah, they sent me this art of Raiju, and they're like, surprise, there you are as a fluffy dragon. And I'm like,
Oh wow.
I'm like, holy shit. Like, and it didn't, I mean, it hit, but it didn't, you know, it was more of like a haha, like that's really funny. Let me see actually if I can find it on his Telegram. Telegram, where are you? So like, yeah, so I'll give you because I have it handy right here. I'll give you the future, but like this is the so like after he gave me the first start, I commissioned them for the ref sheet, which is that, and those stickers, which you've seen all the stickers, which is like all these and stuff, like all those ones. So I commissioned them for all those. But the first original art, which I don't know if that many people have seen that. Let's see if I can find this. Let's see what the date is. Raiju debuted. We can probably find the exact date. Maybe not. Maybe they sent it to me on. Maybe it was on the Discord call or something that they sent it to me on. So I don't have it actually here, but yeah. So they just drew. I mean, I can't even say it was like a rough sketch. It was honestly, you know how artists will say like, oh, I just did a rough little sketch, and then it's like the greatest piece of art you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah,
like that's
a quick 5-minute sketch, and then they produce the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. I'm gonna just try one more last shot to see if I can find it on Twitter. But yeah, it was like oh, I just whipped this up really quick. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Perfect. Yeah, so they whipped this up, and I was like, oh, that's cute. Like that's a silly little thing, and and I was like, oh, that's cute. Like it's a silly little thing. But then I was like, oh, well, maybe like, what if I just got like a, you know, funny little ref sheet and got some funny little stickers. Like that'd be funny. And I mean, that was still like early 2021. And I was like, I got all that stuff, and it was like, okay, like pretty cool. But like, I'm still mostly Raichu. And then like 2022 was like Pocat was getting the model from Pichirisu for his kitty cat model. And he was he was like, hey, what if you got Raiju as a model from Pichirisu as well, and then we can have like, you know, the same make, because she was only doing 2 slots. We were like, whoa, what if we both have like the 2 slots? And like, because she was like, it was her first time modeling. She was like, I'll try it out. And he was like, wouldn't it be funny if we both got it? And I was like, oh, you know, like I don't know if I really want or need a dragon model, but you know, what the hell, why not, right? And then I mean, I guess the why not would be money, but screw it. We deserve to treat ourselves. So yeah, then we got it, and then the model super resonated with me, and I really loved it. And everyone, like, I don't know if you've ever seen, you might have seen the clip before from one of the shout outs, but like when I debuted it, like my stream was about to crash because they spammed like 500 pets. Chat was popping like it has never popped at any point in life, and because it was a really good reveal. I told 0 people, like no one knew except Pocat, and no one knew that it was coming. And I was with the Raichu model, and I was like, oh, hold on, guys, like something's going on. Hold on, let me go to my BRB screen. I went to my BRB screen, and then I loaded the model, and then I mean, it was very unexpected. Everyone lost their shit. And then we're here. So I guess that's kind of the origin story of Raiju. How did we get on that? Oh, we were talking about Raichu versus Raichu. Yeah. So that's kind of the origin story. So I mean,
kind of crazy.
I mean, a lot of people that have had Pokemon, someone has just kind of naturally drifted away from them because of, you know, there's some artists don't like drawing Pokemon, and like fursuit makers don't necessarily like making Pokemon, et cetera, et cetera. So it can be kind of hit or miss. And so having like a Sona that like, I mean, anyone can draw a dragon. Like I'm sure you're not going to find any artist or any fursuit maker that won't make a dragon. Okay, come on. It's a pretty basic ass species. Now for an orca, I don't know, man. Maybe,
it's a bit more niche, a little more difficult, I think.
Yeah, but a dragon. Who's going to decline a dragon, right? So it's nice to have kind of like a mainstream, because I never had like a mainstream, and I don't know. It's interesting because you said, oh, I wanted something unique for the orca. Like I always had something pretty unique, and then I was like, I want to have something kind of like mainstream. Like everyone loves dragons, like. So I just thought it'd be fun to have something a little bit more like everyone can relate. Like half the people with Raichu are like, I've never played a Pokemon game. What the hell is a Raichu? With a dragon, everyone can see like a dragon. Like it's a dragon, like everyone knows dragons. So
yeah, dragons are cool.
Yeah, like dragons. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a different take. Like I'm connected to both characters, but I've definitely found myself becoming more and more connected with the Raichu character. So that's good. I mean, it's good to feel a connection toward your characters, and hopefully someday you can get a really, really cool art piece of your orca that resonates so hard. Now I know what to get you for a future gift.
Oh no! Oh no!
I mean, you don't need Steam games, so.
Well, what do you mean? I'll tell you what. I have 188 games in my Steam wish list, and I need all of them. You know it. You know it.
How many Steam games have I bought you? Let's see here. That you don't need. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is that? Really 4? Okay, only 4. That's good.
Alone in the Dark 2008. What do you mean? I need that. I need that. I need that so bad.
All right, let's see. I'm scared. Okay, yeah. I'm scared. Alone in the Dark. Yep. Balatro I know is 1, and what's the other? Oh, Hammerwatch. Well, that doesn't really count. I had it in my inventory. Okay. Yeah. And
fake.
and Close Your Eyes, which I already had free as well. So three games that we purchased. So valid. Valid.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you streamed 2 of them, and well, the second is this week. So hooray! Exciting.
Yeah, I need to finish. I'm scared. So it's all coming together.
I know, it's good stuff. Yep. Well. You were the final question on the questionnaire on GameOrca.
That was the vaRAIety.
Sorry, the vaRAIety. Yeah, definitely. I commented on it all the time, but I always get a joyful little giggle out of seeing you like the Blame Orca, GameOrca, like all the different Orca names on my questionnaire. It keeps it fresh. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. It's I don't like how perfectly the name just works with a bunch of different.
I know, it's great.
A bunch of different words.
I remember someone like in your stream recently or in Discord, I don't know, someone called you Blame Orca and they thought they had like the most genius thing, and I was like, I already said that a long time ago. That's my thing.
That's mine.
I own copyright to that very, very obvious pun that anyone could easily notice. But yeah, that's all the questions. I mean, is there anything we didn't cover that you wanted to talk about, or any other questions you wanted to ask? I mean, to be honest, I had some questions, but then I read the form and I was like, oh, everyone already prepared with the questions I was going to ask. So.
Oh, wow. I mean,
pretty good.
I have infinite questions to ask.
They're all hatred filled.
They're all hatred filled. Exactly. No. I don't know. I guess just thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for like welcoming me into the community.
Yeah.
It's been really fun, and it's quite funny that like your community has kind of come over to my community as well, and vice versa. So there's like a bit of a Venn diagram. It's like
I always love that. Yeah, I mean, well, you're literally the #1 highest crossover I have according to Twitch stats right now, by a pretty significant margin, which you beat out Yasha, which for a while Yasha and I were, but Yasha's kind of been growing his audience outside of my thing, which by the way is like incredibly, there's certain people, right, which you didn't come from my community, but there's certain people who started streaming like from my community, like they were literally just a Raichu viewer, and they started streaming, and initially, as you'd expect, since they're a Raichu stream viewer, the community knows them. Their community initially starts out as a Raichu light community, like a few people from our community go over there, right? And it's always very, I don't know, heartwarming, I guess is the right word, to see when they branch out, and it's like people don't even know that they ever were just like a little Raichu viewer. Like, as far as anyone's aware, they're just like been a streamer forever, and they're like so I think it's cool when people can branch out. Like, it's nice to know that like their roots were with my community, but it's also nice to to see that they can branch out. And like, yeah, we have crossover as well, but it's the same kind of deal that like, that, yeah, there's like a lot of people that watch. It's funny, like I should probably ping my stream because I always see people in your community. When you put the link in there, like people always join from your community. I guess they just don't check Twitch, or they don't know how to remember people's schedules, but like they always join, and I always see all those faces. They have a good time, they chat, but they don't join unless you post the link. So maybe I should start posting the link so they don't have to miss the stream. But
yeah, I've noticed that as well.
It's very funny.
Interesting way you talking about the, streamers coming from your community. When Demo first started joining my streams, Demo's also another person who's been in a lot of my streams for a long time. Not quite as long as RLA, but for the vast majority of my streams, I'd say about 90% of my streams, Demo's been there. He actually said that he originally thought that I was originally from the vaRAIety community.
right.
And I just randomly started streaming. It's like, actually, no. It's,
Yeah.
It's kind of the opposite way around. I started streaming and then I was in the vaRAIety community.
Well, you were kind of in the community. You were squishiest when you were the squishiest one. You were not really part of the community, but you had been in streams. So maybe that's where he had seen you. Maybe. Perhaps, I don't know.
I don't know, possibly.
It's just kind of a weird thing because it's funny. I mean, like I just named a few off, but a lot of big Twitch partners were originally just little shy boys in the vaRAIety chat when I was just getting started streaming on Twitch, and they were just. And I mean, there was a time when Pocat and Sushi, who are now like ultra famous Twitch streamers, were just like no one knew who they were. They were just someone who showed up to most vaRAIety streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays in 2020 when we were all depressed and stuck inside, and just chatted and hung out with us. And then they went off and became like some of the like biggest furry streamers on Twitch. So it is interesting, and it's really cool. And it's I think it's kind of cool to have something like I have with yours, where we didn't we have the biggest crossover according to Twitch in terms of percentage of viewers. But we didn't come from each other's community. We kind of built it, like it didn't like, it didn't come naturally like those ones where it was like my friends were in my stream and then they sprouted off on their own. Like that's just kind of natural. Like ours, we actually had to put in work to like kind of build the bridge that there is between the streams, which is kind of cool and not something I've particularly experienced. I mean, there's other examples like King Pandas. We have like a few different crossover viewers and stuff, but like not to the extent of like that. The streams are very integrated. I feel like in terms of the community. So it's a neat thing. I agree.
Yeah, it was cool when I'm trying to think of examples, but like Pixel.
Yeah, Pixel's a great example for sure.
Pixel showed up in my streams, and Jazz Arrows also started showing up in my streams as well, which has been really cool. Even though he's an absolute fiend with the mini Orca.
Oh, I love his emote.
Actually, gonna ban that man at some point. I'm not.
He's a gremlin. He loves doing that. He does that in Pocats, Tushabi. He does it in. I don't have any. I have no text to speech stuff to do. So suck on that. Yasha's. He does it in Yasha's. Yeah, with the text to speech. Yeah.
And even Pocat shows up in my streams. Kind of just shows up and tortures me and then leaves without saying anything. Tushabi shows up in my streams. It's really cool.
And it's a tough time zone. It's an impossible time zone for Europeans, unfortunately, for the most part, which is a shame because I have a lot of Europeans, and your time zone is virtually impossible for them to join. And it's a challenging time zone for Americans, but I think a lot of Americans make a pretty good effort to at least do kind of what I did, even if it's late for them. They pop in for a little bit, like at least to say hey.
Yeah, Pixel shows up usually for like 10 to 20 minutes, and then. Gets mad when I don't fail horribly at life, and then just leaves and just rage quits the stream. It's really rude, actually. I can't believe Pixel did that.
It's that Gen,
wishes for my downfall all the time.
That Gen Z energy,
Oh my god,
that's how it goes.
Insane. Yeah, it's really cool. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who shows up, and I'm sure you feel the same. When Arlie shows up to your streams and.
I can't even call like Otterly is like such an essential part. I more so like Shark Nips was there, like Kiwi, like those people. Like Otterly is such an essential part. I can't even say that he's I'm surprised that he's there. Like he's just integrated like you. You guys are like an actual. There's no crossover. You guys are literally just in the stream. But like I do like the. Like I think Dunjack has been in my stream before. Like there's a handful of your very regular people that have just on certain occasions popped in, and it is always cool to see. And And I do think it's funny that every time the link gets posted, they're always there. And I'm like, maybe I should start posting the link because like it seems like they like to join the stream. But maybe they just, I'm under that weird assumption, and I just assume that everyone's checking social media at all times, and they're on Twitter and they're on Twitch and they're like their fingers on the pulse. But realistically, probably most people aren't like that. But sometimes I just assume that everyone is like works from home like me, and they're like in front of their computer all the time and like have all the pages up so they can see when someone goes live or something. But sometimes people need a little nudge, like a little reminder, like, yo, I'm live.
I mean, Kiwi doesn't really watch other streams apart from like mine and yours when he pops in.
Yeah.
So, but unlike like me, I'm working from home most of the time now, so I'm just sitting on Twitch most of the day.
Yep.
And then I'll just randomly see Yasha's stream going live notification. I'm like, oh, drop everything. Yasha's streaming. Okay, I'll go look at the Yasha stream. Like I'm not even looking in his Discord for it. I'm just like, oh,
yep.
Well, it's around this time. I know it's going to drop soon. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Or it's 1 p.m. Raichu streaming.
Yep.
Sugar. I was like getting lunch. I'm 20 minutes late. Oh, well, I'm just going to pop in anyway,
Yep. No, and that's an interesting point as well, because I've always been like flattered. Like I've had I think not as much these days, but like most of my originals don't really watch other streams per se. So it's very flattering when people are watching you and maybe, like, and I'm not saying like this person matters less, but like it hits different when someone like Yasha is watching you, who watches like a 50 trillion streams a day, or like a GameOrca who watches 50 trillion streams, versus someone who only watches your stream and normally doesn't even like streams, but they like yours.
Yeah.
It's very flattering.
It does feel quite nice. Yeah.
Yep. And again, that's not to take away. It's not like I don't love seeing Yasha and GameOrca and those people, but it hits a little different in a different way. When it's like they don't like streams, but they like me. Like that's pretty dang cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Well, I think we covered a lot. It's about time for me to go get some dinner. It's like 7:07. So
yeah, I think we need to call this episode like tangents within tangents or something like that. We went on a wild ride today.
We did. We went from would you prefer to TF into Raiju or Raichu to talking about viewers and crossover. I mean, I don't know. I think people are going to watch this, and I think they're going to like it, because we definitely went on a lot of unexpected tangents in a good way. So
yeah,
thank you.
It's very easy to do, and also too much to talk about. There's so much more I want to talk about.
Oh,
I'm very acutely aware of the time. It's like, wow, so many things to talk about this one discussion. But Chillamex asked a question like an hour ago, and we haven't actually.
Yeah, that was great. Like he asked what season it was, and I went into a 15-hour. Well, he said something about, he said you were cool, and that like when someone else compliments someone, that's like I'm like a shark like with blood in the water. I'm like that means I can go compliment them, and I can go say what I like about them. Like I don't know why I made the dog noise when it's like a shark. They don't make that noise, but it's like Jackson. He sees a treat. Demo already told me he can't listen to the podcast because he thinks we just. Demo had this conversation. He said, "I can't watch nerdy shit podcasts where you just talk about Kingdom Hearts." And I'm like, Demo, I don't even like Kingdom Hearts that much. I don't even talk about Kingdom Hearts.
you don't like Kingdom Hearts? Oh my god, Chillamex.
Yeah,
we need to leave. We need to go.
I don't like it yet, but I'm getting there. No, honestly, it's funny though, because you guys did shit on a lot of the worlds, but I've been enjoying every single world in the game. It's been really enjoyable so far. So. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful I didn't start playing a game and then it was really lame or boring. I'm glad that I've actually been super enjoying it. So,
yeah, I think Kingdom Hearts 1 is a fun game, especially if you've got. That's the thing with streaming as well. Not to go on another tangent. We'll keep it short.
Go ahead.
Here, right? But when you're streaming a game, and people who use Twitch quite a lot, they'll have games they really like. Like Abraxas really likes Elden Ring, and I mean really likes Elden Ring. So when he's watching me stream Elden Ring, he's like sitting there perched on his desk, like, salivating, waiting for me to do things.
Yeah.
And like it's the same with you playing Kingdom Hearts. Chillamex is like on his desk, like staring at the monitor, like inches from it, just like waiting for you to do stuff. He's so excited. And I'll be the same in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's just people who enjoy games love seeing other people play the games for the first time.
Oh, that's me with you with Alone in the Dark tomorrow. I'm going to be frothing at the mouth. Like I enjoy going to every one of your streams, but like it's like Alien Isolation. Okay, this is cool. Like I'm just chilling. But Alone in the Dark, I'm like
exactly.
I'm frothing at the mouth. So
I can only imagine if I played Chrono Trigger for the first time. It would have been the same.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the beautiful thing is like there's a lot of games I feel like not to the same extent, but even like I'm scared and Spooky's House of Jump Scares, like I felt not on the same level as Alone in the Dark, but I felt like super excited and like froth at the mouthy to have you go through. So I don't know. I think it's just in general the feeling of sharing like something you care about, like a game with someone you care about, is like a really really awesome and cool feeling. So
Yeah, and I always like that about streaming.
yep,
I've streamed on Discord to my friends a couple times, and I really enjoyed it. But
yeah,
at that point, I was never like, I'll be a Twitch streamer. You know, that
yeah,
never crossed my mind. But it's actually just the same thing for me. It's like, all right, why didn't I do this before? I've always enjoyed it.
yeah,
I should have done it way sooner. But
yeah.
oh well.
It's you know, and it is. I mean, it's a big step, and I think a lot of people, I mean, came like up like that said they would never. I mean, I can't tell you how many people told me that they would never stream. So many people in our community that told me, including big, famous, popular streamers, said like, "Oh, I would never stream. Like, that's not me. Like, I'm not like that
Mm,
kind of personality. Like, I can put on a show for people." And then they do it, and they're like, "Wow, this is really fun," and "Wow, I'm really good at it." Like,
yeah.
and that's heartwarming for me to see. I don't know, and it hits differently. I was thinking about this the other day, and I was going to bring it up, but like, it's for me, it also hits different because, like, for me, I've always been someone who is very. I streaming for me was not like a big thing. Like the first time I streamed, it was like, oh, this is like natural. Like, this is real easy. Like I've always been the type, like I love public speaking, like giving speeches. I was the weird kid in
Oh
school that was
no.
like excited to
Oh
give
no.
speeches.
No,
I
no, no,
love
no.
public speaking. So for me, it was like not a challenge, but for me, I
Mm,
really, really love seeing when like the more introverted and like, I know you say you're like kind of introverted, but like there's some people that are like ultra introverted, like
yeah.
that have started streaming. And like, I just think that's really, really cool that you can like overcome something that would be, and is, and would be a big struggle. And you kind of overcome that and crush it. Like even if you don't have like a viewer audience of like 100 or whatever, like of the famous streamers, like even like you having a confident stream where you're like talking confidently to like 5 people is freaking awesome. And that's really cool because that's
Yeah.
not an easy thing to do for an introvert. I mean, I'm assuming it's not an easy thing to do for an introvert. I don't know, but I'm guessing that's probably a really, really hard thing.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. And I've had some life experience that's kind of pushed me out of my bubble, so I'm not so much of an introvert as I was before. But
Yeah.
my first stream, oh my gosh, it was so nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just very grateful for the people that showed up to it. And honestly, it's gotten so much easier over time as well to just talk absolute rubbish
Yep.
for 4 hours on end. And you know, it's been great. So
Well, and that's kind of the
yeah.
cool part is like when you first start streaming, you don't. It's the same thing we were talking about earlier when like you're in a chat and you don't know anyone. From the streamer's perspective, it's the same thing because like for me, I remember like getting more and more comfortable as like okay, like who knows who's going to be in chat? Well, I know there's going to be at least like a couple people I know like that have been in
Mm,
chat before, and for you, it's probably I assume the same thing. Like you know, who knows who might join, but you can count on that like Otterly and Demo and Raichu and maybe like probably a few others that we know like guaranteed will be there. And so you have like some people you know that you're like talking random crap to.
yeah, exactly.
So there is a level of comfort that comes with you know, as you get more and more people that you know, someday maybe your chat will be all regulars like mine where it's like all 30, 40 people and every single one of them I know like the back of my hand. But
You
you know,
know,
it's
it just well, it's not gonna matter. Once Markiplier finally starts watching my streams, it's all over. You know,
yeah,
no one else matters.
he's
Markiplier, and
he's
me,
coming. You know,
he's coming.
I tried to do a I tried to do a shout out to, or not a shout out, a raid to Markiplier today on Chili Mex's stream. I didn't know if I had
Oh no.
permissions, and I didn't have permissions to do the raid. But Chili Mex never
Oh.
raids, so he was raiding, and I was like in chat giggling and typing /raid Markiplier just to see him freak out when it popped up. But then it didn't pop up because I didn't have permissions, and I was very upset.
Oh.
But and maybe I can. I don't know if I have permissions to do raids in your stream. I don't. You probably don't even know if I have that permission in there.
I
So
no, I have no
Maybe
idea.
someday I'll try to do it and just watch you have a heart attack.
Oh no.
Oh God. I mean, I'm sure
But yeah.
Markiplier would be a big fan of SqueakyOrca.
Oh, I hope so.
We did raid. Do you know? I know you like Super Mario 64. Do you know Squeaks? He's like a Super Mario
Um,
64 speedrunner.
may
He's like a
maybe.
normie, but he's like a speedrunner. But he has like always like at least a few hundred viewers. But like one time we were like chat was like, haha, what if we rated Squeaks? Because I was streaming Super Mario 64. And like
All
so
right.
like this like 20 something viewer furry raids Squeaks, like this 1,000 viewer like ultra mega famous Super Mario 64 streamer, and I don't even know if he said anything or even reacted, but it was funny. It was a good time, but. Yeah, it was humorous. So maybe when you play Five Nights at Freddy's, we'll raid Markiplier because he loves Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
You know, does Markiplier stream on Twitch? I don't know if you even follow him that much these days. I don't, but
I think he has streamed on Twitch in the past. He doesn't regularly do it though. He's quite busy at the moment with his
music
other
and stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's making a movie and
Oh,
a video
Jesus.
game, maybe. Lots of stuff.
People take on a lot. Yeah.
I can't imagine who else would take on a lot. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy idea. You know, I was thinking about it today. I was like, it's like in the stream yesterday, someone asked, I don't know if I think you were there, but I don't know. Someone asked, oh, would you ever consider speed running Alone in the Dark? And all that did was remind me the existential dread. Shit, one more thing I should be practicing right now, along with music and all this other 50 trillion other things. I'm like, shit, I haven't practiced that in a while. I do need to practice that. But well, when is there time? I got to grind my League of Legends Battle Pass. There's only 2 weeks left in the event. I got to get all my rewards.
Well, exactly. But you know what? Maybe tomorrow.
Oh, it's going down. Yeah, me and Kelmori will be on the Rift. I hope you'll be there too. But Kelmori and I are going to be on Summer's Rifts.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's going to be very scary.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll look for you. But yeah, I need to buckle up. I need to grind my League. I don't know why I do that to myself. And now we're going to get on the League of Legends tangent. People are going to tune out. I don't know why I do that to myself. The last thing I should be doing is buying a battle pass in League where I need to play a set number of games in a set amount of time. That's the stupidest thing I could do, but yet I do it.
Because you love League of Legends so much.
Yeah, I love playing ARAM solo queue by myself on work nights. That's a great feeling. It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's such a funny contrast. Like I remember last weekend we were playing, just chilling, having a good time, talking crap, whatever, just enjoying ourselves. It's such a contrast to when I play I have to get my first win of the day for the battle pass on like a random Tuesday. And it's like, wow, the game was so fun on Saturday with GameOrca. And now it's not.
What happened? It all changed. Oh no.
I will say I've been on a good, like, I think I've won like 4 games in a row on like my every day this week. I played like my 1 win to get like my first win, and I've won like 4 in a row, which is a good feeling. But you know, in League, when you're on a winning streak, you know the losing streak's going to be coming, and it's going to hit hard because we had a good winning streak, and then this week I've had a good winning streak, and I'm so positive when I go on that losing streak where I lose like 10 games in a row, I'm going to want to jump into traffic.
Oh, no. You're going to want to double down and play more ranked League of Legends solo queue. Watch that rank drop all the way down from diamond to bronze.
Oh, God. Well, I'm glad we talked about League at the end so that people can just click the click away. We didn't do it in the middle. So now my YouTube analytics will say that the average watch time is higher because people watched till the end of the video and then they clicked off.
Exactly.
I'm so good at being a good YouTube analytics, man. People tell me all the time, like, right, you need to get really good thumbnails so your videos get more clicks. And I'm like, I were you there? Let me think about this. Hold on. No, you weren't there. Me and Kel were playing in Discord, and someone joined, and they were like, "Right, I've seen your podcasts. They're really good, but you know, you really should like have a good thumbnail." And like, I couldn't really say like I don't have time. Like I have no free time because I was literally playing League of Legends. But I was like, you know, I feel you, but also this is like my 4 hours of free time in a week, and if I don't give myself this. This is all I have. I don't have time to do any thumbnails. And if I don't give myself this, I know things are going to start crumbling. So you know what? I don't think thumbnails are happening, but it's a good thought. It's a good thought. There's always more to do. And I think you relate to that. There's always more to do. We could always be doing more.
There's always more to do.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a bit traumatized by all my hobbies that keep growing and never go away.
This was our trauma as of a couple episodes ago. I think we talked about it after my podcast. But yeah, it's a struggle. Lack of time is a pain that I hope most of you won't have to feel to this extent because it can be rather traumatizing. But hey, at least I'm never bored.
Well, that's true. Yeah, too busy to be bored. Yeah. I feel it.
Yeah. If I play a game of League of Legends, I think it's kind of like how people say like you should like enjoy your food, like take your time to eat your food, don't like rush through it, like take your time to savor it. That's me playing my 1 game of League of Legends. It's like let me just savor this one stupid ass game of League of Legends, and and then I get cussed out for dying as Soraka, and then all that goes out the window. But
Oh yeah.
Wishful thinking. It's good to have a positive attitude even when things go south sometimes.
And yeah, just like we were saying, just have one positive thing, even the
Yeah.
smallest thing to look forward to, and yeah, it all makes a difference.
It
Makes all the
really
difference in
is
the world.
simple, and I mean, I think you relate to this, and I think I relate to this. We were talking about how we used to play League of Legends for 14 hours a day.
Oh my
Sometimes,
God.
sometimes I would feel
Don't
like
talk to
shit.
me like this.
Sometimes I would feel like shit, and I would just be thinking like, well, at least I can play League later, like whatever.
Yeah.
So like, even if it's just a game, even if it's like, work with shit today, but like at least I can play Overwatch or like whatever game you like to play.
Oh,
At least I said that for Chili Mex because I know that's his comfort game at night. So you know what, whatever game floats your boat, even having something small like that. But I do, not to circle back to that again, but yeah, try to find things that you can look forward to, small or big. The big things are good to have too, but bridge yourself there with small things. Like I'm gonna go watch GameOrca's stream and be a stupid idiot and make people laugh at me in GameOrca's stream. I have such a blast with that, and have Demo thirsting after me to an extent that can't even be said in your stream. We can't even talk. It was
no.
Yeah, we won't go there, but and just find a little something, and so GameOrca, we hit 3 hours, which means
oh my gosh,
which means this is only the second episode of my podcast ever hit 3 hours. So,
oh wow.
And the only other one was Kings, which I think had a little bit of bias because it was the very first episode. So like 8 trillion people asked questions. Versus here
true,
where we built, that was the one we hit like 20 questions, I think, or something. So we actually made pretty efficient time. That was like almost 4 hours, the King one, but we're the only, Kells went 2:40, Chili Mexes went 2 hours 49, and we just hit 3 hours on the dot. So, I don't know if that's an accomplishment, but I like funny, cool, big numbers. So we hit it. We did a big, funny, cool number. And, it's a goodbye for now in terms of you being on the podcast, because I'm sure we'll have some repeat guests next year in 2025. And you never know what life will hold. Who the hell knows? But I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic that that we will still be in the close connection that we are now, and that we will likely be able to meet here again in the Raichu Dark Void. Yeah, you can't see it, but I'm in my little Dark Void podcast room. And
the darkness room.
I hope we will meet again in this darkness room sometime next year, because it was a good chat. And I'm sure we have plenty more to talk about. And that's,
my mind is still spinning.
That's something I've always enjoyed. Is like, even last week when we played League, we just I don't think we stopped talking the whole time. So it's good. It's good when you have the vibe that you can just talk. And there's I'm sure the very second this happens, every time I finish the podcast, anytime I finish anything, guaranteed there's something that I wanted to make, and I will forget. So if I do, I will message it to you, and then we can laugh about how stupid Raichu forgot to say this very obvious thing that he should have said on the podcast, and then we can go, haha, Raichu's so dumb. Well, I guess I can bring it up on your stream tomorrow too, but...
Well, that's true, because you will be on my stream at twitch.tv/GameOrca. It's not actually GameOrca, but just pretend it's GameOrca. It should be, though. Who the hell is SqueakyOrca? We don't like that guy.
He ain't very squeaky, but he is a gamer.
That's true.
Questionably squeaky, but undeniably gamer. That should be your slogan. That's a great slogan. Yeah, we just came up with your new slogan.
That's a great podcast name. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, we did it. You're so right. Oh my goodness, we did it.
We did it.
All right, well, that's it. And that, someday when you make merch, I think that needs to be like a shirt that says like, questionably squeaky, undeniably gamer.
It sounds like a tagline for like I don't know, some kind of body deodorant or something like that. Like, I don't know. It's got some energy to it. I like it. Oh
God, yeah, we're cooking right now. We're on our game. 3 hours in, we are still cooking. But I shall go eat. I shall let you get off to the rest of your Saturday things. Wow, imagine it being Saturday right now. That's crazy.
I know, it's weird, right?
I know, but thank you as always for being here with me and being a good conversationalist as always, hanging out, being a vital part of our community. And I look forward to it's only been a few months. That's the crazy cool part, right? It's only been a few months, and there's still so many more cool things to experience, and yeah, and a lot of cool things ahead. So I am excited, and I hope you are too.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I'm looking
Yep,
forward to it. It's been awesome,
absolutely.
really cool last few months for a lot of reasons. But
Yep.
yeah, getting close to you guys, like you and all your community and stuff, it's been great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
been a
my
lot of
community
fun.
as well.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
I'm not like
no, it's been
I'm
great.
like
Yeah, no,
Raichu's community is better than my community. No, I'm not doing
he's
that.
on my podcast. If anyone from GameOrca's community that we can say the crossovers like Otterly or Demo, but like they're so ingrained in my community too. They're almost not even crossover.
Oh no, I mean we
They're
have
in
shared
both.
custody over
Yeah,
demo, right? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, I had Demo first. You had Otterly first. So if I share Demo, then you share Otterly. Then we're
Oh
all
wow, yeah,
fair sharing. So
exactly.
yeah. Demo is you, and I don't know if we talked about it. You've never played Brave Fencer Musashi, right?
No.
Yeah, that's the PS1 game. But yeah, I remember last year when we were streaming that. That was like one of the first time Demo was talking in my chat, and then
Oh wow.
I told Demo, but like there was like an uproar. Like my mods were concerned because my mods run a pretty tight ship, and Demo was being Vorny in chat, and so there was a lot of messages like, "Raichu, is this okay? Like, is this gonna be okay? Because like this is not the vibe most people in our chat have. Like, are you okay with this?" And I was like, "I think it'll be okay," and then it was okay. We're all right. So.
It was all right.
But it was very funny. There was quite an uproar. I had to go deal with my very lovely team that always wants to protect me and are very thoughtful. Before we end, I had an interesting thought because we always talk about like your mods bully you and most Twitch mods bully you, and mine are so nice. I actually had to go. I was in my mod channel, and I said I was like, "Hey guys, like I'm gonna be making the reward that I talked about, like for like dedicate a stream to whatever you want me to play or whatever." And I was like, "So what should I make the point total?" And I was like, "I'm aware of the fact that you guys could say a lower number and it would benefit you because then you could buy it more." And I'm like, "But I trust the fact that you will answer what you actually think because you care about the betterment of the stream." And yeah, everyone answered very honestly with high numbers. So thank you, Raichu's team, whoever of the Raichu mod team that listens to this, which is Chili Mex and Kel for sure, Leo, I believe, and anyone else who might be listening to the Raichu podcast from the mod team. Thank you for always having my back, except Leo. He's British, so I understand it. But
don't talk to British people.
The rest of the team, they always have my back. But I understand. That's the British culture. I think you got to be a cheeky bugger, as they say it. Do they say that? I don't know.
Cheeky bugger, you can get your cheeky Nando's as well.
Yeah, I love cheeky Nando's. Oh, Leo got really mad at me one time because I didn't know how to pronounce it, and I called it Nando's.
Oh,
and he was so mad. I was like, dude, I don't know how to say it. I'm American.
I'm so upset with you. I think that's a good place to stop the podcast. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna go cry.
All right, GameWork is going into his whale cave. I don't know, where did whales go? They have caves. I don't know. He's gonna go in his whale cave, and I'm gonna go in my kitchen and make food. GameWorka, thank you very, very much for being here. Thank you for being a part of the community, and looking forward to what's to come. And I would tell people to watch your stream tomorrow, but for them, it's going to be yesterday. So I hope you guys came to the Alone in the Dark stream. If not, shame on you.
Shame on you.
But maybe there will be more that you can come to in the future. I mean, there will be more streams, but maybe there will be more Alone in the Dark streams for you to come to in the future, chat. So.
Most likely, considering I have Alone in the Dark 2, 3, 2008, and Illumination to play. Wow, so many games.
Your reaction to Alone in the Dark 2008 would be iconic. So that would be a very...
I might actually play it. It would be very fun.
It's so sad because it's a game at its core that you can tell they really did try on. They had ideas, but the ideas were just not executed well. But they did have ideas. It's kind of like me, honestly. Like, I have good ideas, but I don't know how to freaking code or do anything like execute them well. So I have good ideas, but they just kind of live in my brain for the most part. So I think that's what happened to them. But anyway, looking forward to the Alone in the Dark, and looking forward to what's to come, GameOrca, as we close out the year. Thank you again.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for listening to our second longest episode. Wow. Crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for supporting the GameOrca channel. If you don't know the GameOrca channel, well, you can go to the funny YouTube description, because you will be watching this on YouTube, because it's on YouTube, and you can click his link there and hit the like, comment, follow, subscribe. And he also has a YouTube channel, but he does not advertise it well, by the way. Side note.
No, that's true.
I am the biggest advertiser of your YouTube and your coffee. You need to sell yourself better. Well, fortunately, I'm the best salesman of anyone ever, so I can.
that's true.
I'll sell. If I have the chance to promote someone, I mean, listen, we won't get into Otterly's affiliate push or like when I was on the stream with you weren't there on the Mid-Tier Wolf one when Garflin was like, say something nice about yourself, Mid-Tier Wolf, and he was like nothing, and then I'm like, oh, let me help because there's some things I'm good at, and that's one of them. So I will promote your coffee. And hey, you got like Sully gave you money, right? So it worked.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's amazing.
You got it. You're gonna get an official sponsorship from was it Bark U or something like that?
Bark loves me. Yo, they were on my Twitter today talking to me, and I'm actually, well, this will already be posted, but I made like a funny little Bark Raichu meets Bark video to put on YouTube, and I'm gonna send it to him tomorrow, and it's gonna be really funny. And it has a clickbait title, but it's not actually clickbait. But I'm gonna tell you the title because technically it's true. I think it's literally like Raichu meets or Raichu learns about Bark. Or what does it say? Hold on, I'm gonna tell you the name. It's hold on. I had to go to YouTube, and I got to go to my YouTube studio, and it says Raichu's Adventures with Bark. So you would think you would click on it like, oh, Raichu's going on Bark and probably like posting funny, horny conversations he had or something. But really, it's just Raichu streaming, and then the funny Bark account joins. So it's clickbait, but technically it's true. It is my Adventures with Bark, the literal John Bark.
You didn't lie. You didn't lie.
Yeah, it's true. So anyway, I went on another tangent. GameOrca, thank you again, and looking forward with what's to come. My friend. Yes. Goodbye. Thank you guys for listening.